Guys, fun fact for the broadcast, Hedy from TALON, this is the first time in 3 years he's played an official against Invictus. So that's a fun little storyline. I'd love to know what that match in particular was. I'm assuming it was an APAC Pro League Finals way back in maybe like season 8 or 9 or something. So that's a bit of a throwback, and we'll get to see that rivalry reignited.
Let's see how we go here. Oregon, our first map of this lower bracket semi-final. And Talon will be on the attack first, Invictus on the defense. We spoke about the proficiency here on Oregon for Talon, but I mean, for Invictus, it's not too bad. 6-2 is their record on Oregon. It's a map that they've had recent success on. They beat Direwolves on it in the SCA Championship. They did lose to Sharper Esports on it, though. 5-7, that's an intriguing loss there. Before that, they actually beat Sonic 7-5 on Oregon at the Sweden Major, but really, that's pretty easy, isn't it? It's NA lol.
It's been a bit of NA slander in this broadcast so far. Might come back to bite us come SI, who knows. In terms of bans though, here for the first map, on the side of the attack, of course, Flores Thatcher, so a lot of utility would now be left standing as that clearance is compromised. Pretty mirror off the board expected here on Oregon.
Pretty normal.
And, well, pretty normal as well, so nothing sort of sticking out like a sore thumb. Talon on the attack first, in a decent position to get rounds on the board. It's not like we're looking at the ban phase and we're absolutely thrown off. And with that Twitch in compensation for the loss of Flores, and Thatcher, would definitely see their shock trains be of critical importance.
Yeah, final predictions, I guess, because I don't know if Rob actually got your predictions or not, but for the entire series, guys, what's your...
2-0.
2-0?
2-0 IG.
IG?
2-0 IG.
You're not worried about the Chalet?
Well, I did say that prediction just before the video popped up, and then I saw it, and I kind of doubled down, and then I thought about it a little bit more, and I was probably like, oh, that's a pretty brave prediction. But hey, you know, I'm a top predictor for a reason, so I'll stick by my prediction.
Honestly, at this point, I think for the entire calendar year of 2021, you very much were the top predictor in the region, so you can...
So if you're a Talon fan, just stop watching. The game's over.
Don't know about that one. I tell you what, if they can win Oregon here, Chalet is, well, one that we don't have a whole lot of answers for going into it. You know, whether Invictus have worked really well on it at the break and turned it into one of their maps and added, you know, and maybe increased their map pool. I mean, that's what the best teams generally want to do, right? Increase their map pool, because I think that is maybe one of the weaknesses of IG in saying that they've probably got 4 strong maps: Clubhouse, Cafe, Oregon, Villa. And so to kind of miss out a little bit, and the fact that they've got to play Chalet, obviously playing Oregon against a pretty decent Talon, and they do get Clubhouse. Yeah, I don't know. If they add Chalet to their map pool and it becomes really good, all they're missing at that point is Bank and Coastline, and they then have themselves a very strong 5 map pool heading into 2022.
Canos on Yana, scouting ahead, western side of the map across, looking to effectively drone himself in and try to clear out the likes of Small Tower, dining across as elsewhere to gain control of the Big Tower. Now it actually is being held by a defender. Now I can't quite tell who it is. I think it might be Joe based on the outline. But either way, IG investing some personnel at Big Tower to try and slow down this push.
Yeah, and no surprise, defense going to be absolutely pivotal on Oregon, as usually is. 4-2 scoreline is going to be the pass mark here for Invictus. Invictus are obviously a team that's very much a consummate professional team. Their statistics across the board, map to map, are pretty much like for like. And Oregon, no difference. Whereas when you look at teams like, say, Direwolves, even at times even Cyclops, some of their stats are absolutely up and down, and very little consistency. And that is one of the strengths of Invictus, is their ability to, I think, play map to map, and maybe, as I said, can add Chalet.
Oh, good night.
The pool, big things to come for them this year. Hysterics gets the opening pick. It's a good start for Invictus.
Start from Hysterics.
Oh, he's just going to push straight through.
Was unable to attend the Sweden Major, replaced by their coach Gig in the interim. Now he's back and should be around, as I believe he's actually finished his national service, which is awesome for him. Unfortunately taken down though on that trade, so it's 4v4 with 60 seconds remaining in this round. And Talon has now done a decent job getting control up above, but of course, as often is the case on a basement defense here on Oregon, the hardest part of the round is that final push. That said, with the man count even, provided they have information and can maybe flush out at least one player untraded, then they'll be in a really fantastic position.
Yeah, and the biggest part about basement for the attacking teams is having at least 2 different forms of attack. If you're going to go down, say, into laundry, you probably want freezer. If you're going to go backstairs, you're going to want blue. 30 seconds left, so at this point it is going to have to be laundry freezer. Heady very much setting up for this through laundry now. Takes a bit of damage, so does Kanos as well. Now they're going to get into red side. 4 versus 4. Make it 3. Luna gets the pick on to Heady. Soldier pushing through Freezer. Well, he's going to just soldier on forward here. Demic gets 1, but Jordan was watching that Freezer position. Kanos gets 1 as well. Pushes out into the hallway. Immediately loses his life. It's a 1 versus 1. 1 second left. Plant down from Demic. Speak easy. Where is he? He's running down the corridor. He'll get an easy elimination. Invictus get the opening round.
Well, like usual, Oregon basement pretty chaotic and a lot going on. Kill feed lighting up, and that's probably the easiest kill Speakeasy is going to get in this game. Good composure to close it out, and Invictus get the first round on the board. Basement can sometimes be super tricky to defend, particularly on teams that nail down the execution of that utility, but Talon just unfortunately not having all of those ends taken care of. And now we head up above to our favorite site, Kid Storms. You know what they say.
Well, it's not they, it's us. You know what we say. Kid Storms, the importance of it, yada, yada, yada. Look, there's the joke to it, but there's also the reality to it. It is just the kind of side on Oregon where, you know, historically, it's more so the fact that laundry supply is generally so defender-sided that this is typically where if the defense can win every single laundry supply, which they go down there first, they're going to at least get 2 options of it. You win your 2 laundry supply, you win your 2 DOMs, you're going to win the half, right? And then you kind of get some freebies elsewhere as well, with, like meat and kitchen, for example. So that's the importance of it. And then it flips over for the attacking team, right? If laundry supply is going to be difficult to take, then you're going to need to win dorms to get some rounds on the board here on the attack of Oregon. And that's just why, statistically, it's around that 55 to 60% defensive win rate on Oregon, 2-4 half, generally in favor of the defense. And a lot of that then comes down to Kid Storms.
Early aggression here over towards Armory. I think that was Jordan playing peekaboo, but he'll fall back as the drone follows up from Soldier, maybe wanting to get quick control of Armory, and if he does, that's a good foothold, preventing the rotation down towards Lobby, and can apply early pressure in towards Trophy. We'll just ensure his safety by setting up a drone as he elsewhere towards rear stage now. Looking to get control and protect his hard breacher in Demic, who will be looking to trick open that wall, get an entry point in towards Addict, and start applying pressure in towards Pit.
Such is the nature of Oregon, probably not expecting a whole lot to happen here. The other part of it as well, for those who of course tuned in and watched our earlier match between Direwolves and Cyclops, I don't think we're going to be seeing that kind of same playstyle between these 2 teams. It will be a little slower, especially here on Oregon and Clubhouse even, if we do get to that deciding map. Minute and a half remaining, still no real point of contact for either team. Heady just trying to clear out some of that denial from the ADSs of Jordan. Of course, wanting to get to work, open up this game's wall. There we go. Get rid of that Kaid Electroclaw. Now they can open it up.
Now, Luna did deploy one. I don't know if he was trying to trick that particular wall. He was, but it just detonated in time. It had just beaten the Electroclaw by a fraction of a second. I mean, if you're not a fan of Siege and you've just watched that clip wondering why I'm getting excited, you're probably so confused. But that was super close to the util game. Fortunately for Talon, it does work out, and a grenade should be able to clear out the second, and Heady will now get another 6x Kairos on that wall. So that's now an entry point that Talon can utilize. And so far, they've done a good job. But again, time now starts to become a little bit of an issue. 40 seconds, cutting it tight, yet to find a kill.
Joe finally gets that opening pick. It's taken until the final 30 seconds of the second round here. Still another gas babe, one that's just gone out. One more still in the back pocket as well for Speakeasy. So even more time that can be whittled away. Has an angle from inside of Attic. Has pick control. Now into red time, and still Talon just looking like scared. Deer in the headlights kind of situation here. There's just no time. Now they push in. The trades will obviously come out from both teams. Soldier does well to give them the advantage along with Hetty, who's getting that plant down. Luna needs to get involved. Has the Nitrocell, rips it, doesn't get shot, doesn't even make it through the doorway.
Oh, they're stuck. Soldier's isolated. Now Luna might be able to swing in front of the pick, but doesn't commit. Makes his way over towards Kids, swings, and is shut down. Soldier able to win the one. Very much a deer in the headlights moment for Talon. Not only before that plant, but in the post as well. Somehow, though, they still get it over the line.
Yeah, strange one. Strange one indeed. Nothing too crazy. I think that just comes down to a team that's pushed in, won a couple of their shots, and generally just pulled ahead. I mean, I don't think they were even at a disadvantage going into that towards the end. So just fair play to Talon. A little bit of a late round execution pays off for them. I think generally speaking, that's where Invictus probably needed to do a little bit better. Everything else was set up for it. You know, there was 14 seconds left. You're in red time. It's a position where you're defending. They're pushing in onto you. You get the first pick, and from there you can then trade freely. But full credit to Talon. Aggression pays off, and for Invictus, they're not even going to compete norms. They're going to go straight for kitchen meeting.
Yeah, which is quite interesting because I think for the most part, Invictus actually played that quite well. The juggle, sure, on Games War may well have truly cost them the round, but outside of that, they still did a good job in holding on. And in fact, Luna could have won that. Now, I don't know why he didn't necessarily switch on the second player, because I would have assumed he was there. I don't know. There's obviously a lot going on and a lot of different permutations. But yeah, nonetheless, interestingly, they're not going to reattempt. Maybe just trying to keep things fresh for the attack and try to throw Talon off. And we'll have to see what they're made of on this particular attack. For the most part, their fundamentals for Talon, that is, they've looked pretty solid. And even when they had their backs against the wall in that last round, they actually dug quite deep, winning a lot of key engagements against a team known for key frags.
Very important that they've already got that opening round on the board for the attacking team here on Oregon. It takes a lot of pressure off now for the rest of this half. Like, you only basically need one more. One more is the path of the course. Anything extra than two as an attacking team on Oregon is just straight winning. So it means that they're off to a good start into the first two rounds. And for Invictus, yeah, they're not sweating, but they're already over kitchen meeting. They can go to laundry supply after this. So you win here, you win laundry supply again, and then that's where you can release your own pressure valve. But right now, the pressure's probably on Invictus here. You lose this round, you lose kitchen meeting, and you've already given Talon their pass mark inside of the first 3 rounds.
Soldier will pre-hit the backstage wall. That means that when Demic goes across and Maverick tricks it, it should open up nicely. So some good little micro play there from Talon, and Demic should be able to open this relatively free. I don't think Invictus will be all that keen in counter-aggressing, as they don't really have the information required to make that a calculated play. That said, Demic's still playing this very, very patiently. I think that's probably something we've seen in the first couple of rounds here from Talon, is that patience. They're not wanting to force too much here. If they can help it. Demic having some issues with the wall, but eventually will get it off. Azzy, off the back of that, gets a free kill straight through the wall. I'm 99% sure that was from outside rear stage. It was, and that's a good opening pick for Talon.
Yeah, really good backstairs control now for Talon. Obviously got the wall opened up. Still 1 minute 10 seconds on the clock. Clear out the player, obviously inside of meeting already. This is very much a Talon round, and Invictus are going to have to play to try and deny this plant, which Hetty's going to want to push in very soon and try and get that one down. The only criticism would be the fact that there's that player right on the other side of the wall here, the Azzy, and you've still got to push in and get this plant down, and everyone's in a pretty one-dimensional attacking position. Now, that player has been pinged out. It's Luna. Ooh. Just gets away from that drone hole. Now time becomes a factor as well.
Talon probably should have cleared this sandbags position by now. They dumped most of the utility that they have, and now Invictus can pounce back knowing they're relatively safe. As I say that, those speakeasy drops So it's effectively a 3 versus 3 with 20 seconds on the board. If Talon can get a foothold inside of the objective, maybe they can get that diffuser down.
Big Easy down, but he's getting brought back up. Still a Nitro Cell in hand as well for Joe. I think he's just going to fling it out. Demic, he's down. That's diffuser on the ground as well. Luna from Sandbags swings out, finds the kill. Hysterics with 2. No surprise to see Hysterics in the kill feed for IG. And they take a 2-1 lead here on Oregon.
Yeah, really good work there from Invictus. The best way I'd probably describe that round from them in the mid phase was just weathering the storm. They knew that there was going to be a lot of utils sent out, and Talon unable to really combine the flashbangs and grenades enough to at least find 1 kill, and they didn't really dislodge any positions either. And then Invictus, knowing that it had been expended, could then get on the front foot a little bit more, get a little bit more aggressive, and you could see in the final stages of the round truly getting in the faces of their opponents. So a smart call there from Invictus to rotate objectives, and now they can go back downstairs because it's round 4.
Yep, and that's kind of what I said at the last, or start of the last round as well. You win Kitchen Meeting, then you can win Laundry Supply, then that pressure re-lifts off the shoulders of Invictus, because then at that point, if Invictus can win Laundry Supply here, it's a 3-1 scoreline, and both teams going into the last 2 rounds will be kind of 1 round away from their part, half the course, basically. So, still a chance for Talon to maybe get something here from Laundry Supply. How they're going to do it remains to be seen. I just think that their attack last time was nowhere good enough. Yes, they had a player from Freezer late, but I felt like they didn't have enough pressure from Freezer in the start of their execution phase. It was more very, very late. And by that point, Laundry had already been dealt with, then the player pushes out of Freezer and dies in the corridor.
Heading into round 4 and just scanning the compositions. Nothing really, honestly, standing
play
out so
Big Tower.
far. It's been pretty straightforward, but yeah, Big Tower could be interesting. Now, we did see Invictus try and hold this quite relentlessly last time. Or maybe not relentless is the right word to describe it, but they did have some presence. On this occasion, though, it's a pretty weak effort from Invictus to hold this, and rightly so. You don't need to hold Big Tower to win this objective. They're just trying to drain a bit of time, maybe find a drone or 2. And in fact, there's already been 2 taken down by Invictus. I didn't know if that was off the back of Big Tower, but either way, just applying a bit of this pressure and forcing Talon to really take their time and methodically drone out rear stage and its surrounding areas is going to be costly.
Still just under 2 minutes remaining, and I think really just that small Big Tower play from Luna just takes off about 15 seconds or so on the time in the end. Speak easy over towards Pillar. And now it's the opposite of the opening round. Instead of Laundry Freezer, I think this might shape up to be a bit of a backstairs and blue sort of attack here for Talon.
Talon needs to get control of Pillar, but Hysterics, he's being a bit of a pest so far, not only in this round, but just the match as a whole. 4-2 scoreline and playing a critical role with that utility. FMJ in hand as well, so he can do quite a bit of work. Talon, it's another deer in the headlights moment, like the upstairs attack, right? They're starting to be stalled out. They haven't really got control of these main areas around the map. Speak easy, it's a 1-tap as well. And it's starting to fall apart. Demic getting absolutely smothered by Joe 3v5 as he betrayed, so it's not unwinnable, but Talon in a bit of a precarious position.
Now they're in an awful position with that elimination from Luna. Just quietly, by the way, Luna fragging out 5-2. Good start here on Oregon. Playing that Jaeger very, very well. And now with only 30 seconds left, I don't see a way forward for Talon to find victory here on Laundry Supply. You need just about everything to go right for the attacking team to win it. And everything has just gone about wrong. Hysterics playing very well so far as he tries to get pillar control. He got one onto Speakeasy, but he just feeds Hysterics, who's up to 6 frags now. It's a 3-1 scoreline, and now the pressure off the shoulders of Invictus. And I know it's a weird one. I know it's a 3-1 score, guys, but it's very much even, if that makes sense. Both teams now with 2 rounds to go only need/want 1 more round to meet that par score. So Talon will have 2 rounds. Invictus will have 2 rounds. We could still end up at 4-2, but if IG can get to 5-1, that puts them in good stead here to take Oregon.
Has been pretty tricky to fault IG thus far, but there is one objective where you can clearly draw some difficulties that they've had, of course, as the scoreline reflects it, and it's the site we're going to now. Back upstairs is the only one that Invictus have lost thus far. It was a tight round, came down to a 1 versus 1, but unfortunately Luna was overwhelmed in the post play, unable to win it out with the Kaid. Of course, the Kaid struggling to deny the Games Wall earlier in said rounds. So those are the two things we're looking at here. Can Games Wall be defended a little bit better here by IG? Judging by the fact that they're not running the Kaid, maybe they're not seeing that as being much of a potential issue. Instead, they'll deal with it later. And then, of course, they'll be looking to trade out those picks a little bit more effectively because TALON, they were on the back foot. They stalled out, and they still managed to get that plant down at an advantage.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb
Big round.
and defuse it.
Absolutely massive round. Round 5, always that opportunity now for either team. If Talon wins it, they can have the chance of forcing 3-3. If Invictus win it, they can have the chance of extending their lead to 5-1. And if you lose this round, then you're trying to play catch-up. Then you're just trying to mitigate the damage and play for that pass mark. I think you're right. I think that for Invictus, definitely shaping up to play this a little bit differently than last time in round 2. I think they're going to be as worried as much about that Games Wall. Should have some defensive power elsewhere to combat the aggression of Talon on site.
Drone is ready.
Canos could be someone to watch in this round. A lot of gathering information, tools available for him, and 2 grenades, which if he plays them on vert, could be interesting. Talon taking their time here and opening up this game as well, despite it basically being free real estate, but just wanting to confirm that they can open it safely. Hetty will eventually head in. Gets up close to the wall, confirms that there's no mute jammer present, and he'll look to open that up. Canos down below if he needs to grenade anything off the wall, but obviously, as you can see by the composition, not going to be the case. Hetty able to spend all of his extra pyros. No impact in response. Luna could have tried to juggle that, but nonetheless, again, Invictus looking to play back here, play passive, play for that denial.
Got to remember that they did lose that late round execute trade off with Talon, that sort of 20-second push onto site. Talon were able to just be a little bit better at hitting their shots. That one hasn't quite gone through the hole from Hansi. Just under a minute remaining, and this is now where the gas babes will go out from Speakeasy, deny the push through trophy. Still attic and pit control as well for Invictus, still site control. Player down below as well to be mindful of, that Invictus do have one down below who can, if need be, flank in behind. That's an aggressive peek from Speakeasy. Takes out the player in trophy, now throws the gas babe to deny Hetty, but Hetty actually finds the head of Luna. 4-4, under 30 seconds left.
Has Luna just given Talon an in on this round? It could have been a 5v4. But he throws his life away, 20 seconds left. Talon, some last second droning, some pings in towards the objective. Canos sends it in. He needs to find these picks as a ping to his right. Commits, doesn't get shut down, but he does eventually. Speakeasy with the shotgun too strong. He's second in the round, forcing the swing from Azzy. Surely can't make it in. Does hit the ground, but Joe hits the shot. Another solid round from Invictus.
3 in a row from Invictus. And winning Dorm's second go around gives them a 4-1 lead. Reminder, this is the map pick of Talon. But, of course, defense on Oregon, as we all know, typically is very, very powerful and very strong. And so Invictus now, though, have got their 4 that we generally expect the defenders to get, right? Can they get 5? Can they get that 5-1? They may need it. 4-2 might not be enough if Talon's defense is going to be impeccable here on Oregon, which statistically for them it's 56%, which is actually 1% lower than Invictus. Their stats on Oregon are actually identical when it comes to the attacking and defensive win rates. 55% each on attack, both tied, and then 57 on defense for Invictus, 56 for Talon. So when it comes to those kind of numbers and those kind of stats, statistically both teams are basically equal. So if a 5-1 half does occur, Invictus in the driver's seat going into the second half. But if it's 4-2, you can kind of consider it to be even.
Another meeting defense here from Invictus, and again, casting our minds back to their last attempt. The main reason Invictus were able to win out that round is in the mid portion, when that utility was being expanded by Talon. They were able to weather that storm, they could sit back, relax, they didn't feel too much pressure, they didn't throw lives away, and that meant that when Talon eventually were forced to move after being stalled out at rear stage, Invictus were in a position to capitalize and get a little bit aggressive. So, intrigued to see how Talon try to approach the objective on this occasion. Do they maybe go for more pressure towards lobby and front door? They could go for small tower across. Their spawns are indicating that backstage might not be the play for them on this occasion, which is awesome to see, trying to mix it up. But Invictus are a team that are able to read into that. I mean, Joe's already going to be calling out that they're droning out small tower, so they're going to be hyper aware that something different might be on offer here from the attack.
And they've got to play different though, they can't repeat. They can't go for the same one-dimensional backstage kind of play. Yeah, open up wall, but then you're all just kind of standing there. Hysterix lost a big chunk of health. That's not ideal for someone that generally plays aggressive and looks to find kills. In this instance now, cannot afford to put a foot wrong. That's a pixel. The angle, of course, it's a right play from Hysterix, but it's such a difficult shot to hit.
Falls back over towards top freezer stairs. Smart, considering there were flashes sent his way, and it also allows Joe to hold his cross.
What's the end goal here for Talon, though?
No. They seem to be quite slow in these mid-round portions. They've cleared out dining, but that's been free for the most part for a while now. So we need to now see them convert something over towards security, top freezer stairs, get control of that, and then kitchen can start to be a priority. But you can see Invictus still have Vert.
There's another one.
That those soldiers disrupting needs to be very careful. There is a player on that boost.
Is it Luna? Regardless of who it is, yeah, they have not spotted them out yet. And if Soldier just starts trying to open up the floorboards above inside of dorms, that's a Nitrocell. The player on the boost still at any moment could just jump, swing, and get this elimination onto Soldier. With just under a minute left, but he's gone early. There's a play down below Soldier. It is Luna indeed. That was up there and still is up there. Should get the second onto Demic as well. Big play from Luna. The patience. Inside of kids, 35 seconds left. Luna has set Invictus up to win the round, but Adzi just pushes onto the site. Luna is low on health all of a sudden as well, loses to the player at White Stairs. And suddenly now Jordan's in a 1 versus 3. Talon on the verge of completing the 2-4 half. It will be a pass mark for both Talon and Invictus.
Yeah, really solid work there from Talon. I did think that Luna was going to be impactful enough there to dislodge the round and win it for Invictus. And it was enough to disrupt control up above, but in the meantime, Talon were able to finally get the ball rolling on that horizontal take down below, clearing out sight, doing a good job. And you're right, it's a pass mark for both teams, pretty neutral heading into the second half. And that keeps things nice and close. This is Talon's map pick. We're expecting them to show up here. Some maybe even thinking that Talon can take the series. So they need a good start, and to get that round is really important because there was a period of time there where Invictus were starting to steamroll a bit of momentum, but Talon able to shut that down.
And we do get that 4-2 half like we generally expect on Oregon. Generally happens more times than not. Now it puts, I think, the pressure more on Invictus because they've gone first, they've defended, yeah. Talon have done their job in finding their 2 rounds because that's ultimately the goal when it comes to Oregon. Is it's up to the attacking team to force 2-round wins. Doesn't matter where it is, doesn't matter if it's laundry, doesn't matter if it's dorms, doesn't matter if it's kitchen meeting, just find 2. That's the ultimate goal. And Invictus now has that their own goal of finding 2. Now if they can find one super early, that kind of puts that scoreboard pressure right back onto Talon if they can get it here in the opening round or even in the 8th round. but that's now their goal, very much. And Talon just have to play defensively. They don't have to be too aggressive. Just play to not make mistakes. Play the defense on Oregon like you would expect. And there's no reason why they couldn't, honestly, win like 4 or 5 rounds in a row.
Good selection of pre-placed drones peppered around the map here from Invictus, and that should facilitate a pretty quick map clear considering that Talon are playing all down below. And Invictus are a team that you would expect to take set control quite swiftly.
Double hard breach for Laundry Supply. I think the think is the big one here. As long as Speakeasy doesn't go early, those adrenal surges will be impactful late round. Obviously, you got Hysterics with the Gemini, can find information. Do they go backstairs blue? We haven't actually seen any blue play at all so far in this match. This will be the 3rd time with Laundry Supply. No one has elected to play off of it. I think a reason for it is typically if Flores is available, Guz. That's where you use the Flores more so to get blue control. And obviously Flores has been banned out, so blue not as easy to sort of take.
Yeah, can be tricky, but with 6 grenades and a couple of lifeline charges as well, that, I mean, doesn't make it impossible, but
no.
Of course it is a tall task, a time sink, but nonetheless, you can have all the utility in the world, it's still going to take time to clear it, and maybe you want to invest that time elsewhere. Looks like Invictus want to go for lobby freezer, and you really only do need 2 attack routes truly covered to be able to go for something, maybe have a player sweeping elsewhere. So we'll have to monitor what IG go for. But at the moment, Talon are kind of just hiding in the bomb shelter, right? They're just sitting here waiting, ensuring that no one sneaks away or gets anything for free. And Invictus, in the meantime, are working hatches, and now they'll start working down the staircases and slowly clearing some of this utility.
I'd like to maybe see backstairs play as well from Invictus here. Obviously, oh, nice shot from Speakeasy, but yeah, you find that kill, but no more adrenal surges. Well, none, actually. I don't think you used any. But I was going to say, maybe, you know, obviously you go, well, they're shaping up for Freezer Laundry, right? But maybe have one sneaking around backstairs and pushing in late through Pillar or something where the attention now, obviously, you look at Talon, all their attention is on Laundry Freezer. Nice Nitrocell from Demic as he then gets Hysterics. That's the round. Laundry Supply is not going to be cracked in a 2 versus 4 with 30 seconds left for your double hard breaches to do so as well. With 1 nade, it's not going to happen. But I think in essence, you know, Speakeasy going in first gets that headshot but then dies immediately. You lose a big part of your utility for the rest of the round.
15 seconds remaining.
Just save the guns, boys. Just save the save the blowtorch charges, Jordan.
Heads it in. And yeah, misses that shot. So Talon able to clean up that round. And yeah, I think once you start to commit to a basement push on Oregon, you either go and you fully commit, or you don't go yet. You can't get stuck in the middle like Invictus did on that occasion, right? Because it allows Talon to reset. They can ascertain as to where those remaining attackers are going to be pushing from. They can reset util, shuffle anything they need to quickly, and sort of stock take their position. Whereas if you're relentlessly attacking and relentlessly finding trades, provided that your util hits on point, you should on most occasions be able to trade out those picks and not allow the defense to recover themselves. But yeah, that little stall there from Invictus, obviously quite costly. Now, I don't know whether or not that's because they weren't quite in a position to go bang. I'd also argue that it was actually a really solid trade. Speakeasy probably, the second he got that kill was like, wow, yes, lads, I just got a free kill, we're going to win the round. And then bang, straight away an unsuspecting trade headed his way from Azzy. So honestly, I think that's props to him. Of course, there's a lot of things that go into winning a round, but that was probably one of the key elements, key moments for Talon to be able to get that one across the line.
I don't know, a lot of people obviously talk about Hysterics, and yeah, was a massive loss for them at the major, but it is Speakeasy that is their best play, and probably the best play in APAC South. And in some cases, some could even maybe find an argument for all of APAC. So that's why I also add on to that, where yes, he finds that opening pick, and in the end, technically for Speakeasy, it's a 1-for-1. I don't know if I want Speakeasy being my 1 though. I'd rather say Hysterics getting a 1-for-1 or Luna getting a 1-for-1, and then Speakeasy can go big late round, use those adrenal surges, find 2 kills, for instance, and really then open up sight. But you know, at the time, you know, what can you really do? He hits some nut shots, and at the end of the day, a nut shot back onto him it is what it is. We now turn our attention over to dorms. As is and forever will be. The site you've just got to find at least once as the attacking team, and then you can spend the rest of the half finding one elsewhere. So this is a big round for Invictus. You lose here on dorms, and then you are just a little bit closer to going back around that world tour, having to do with laundry supply, having to go through dorms again.
This is interesting. Jordan on the Maverick. This is probably the last operator you would suspect, pardon me, go for a solid push like this over a shower corridor. Typically, that utility is really important for up above near the attic. I'm losing my train of thought.
Yep.
And big tower. So intriguing to see him in this position, maybe looking to nade down below, and Invictus not wanting to commit to that more traditional push. Either way, is going to be an interesting player to watch. As Hysterics, you talked a bit of smack about him maybe not being the best player on this team. There you go.
It's not talking smack.
I mean, I do agree with you.
Speak easy is insane, so... Speaks to the level of this team, though. When they're clicking, when they're all firing on all cylinders, it's a very, very solid roster. But yeah, the Jordan play right now. So he has used one nade. This is a different approach from Invictus, which I like. Sometimes it's good to just mix things up a little bit. Oregon is the kind of map where, I don't want to say it's stale, but the meta is very much in its place. And most of the times, like for dorms, you either have sort of like an attic games push or a big window white stairs push. With maybe kids window. Games it is, though. So we'll open it up, the exothermic. Jordan finds a pick onto Azzy elsewhere, and this is suddenly a pretty open side for the taking for Invictus. 2-man advantage, 1 minute left on the clock. A lot of work to be done now for Talon to salvage this round, and Soldier might go for the play. It is going to be the Maverick, and Jordan finds a second. It's the fragging Maverick over towards White Stairs. I don't even think he's used that blowtorch. He's got a third kill.
I think I worked out why they sent the Maverick below. Jordan was told go get kills, and he got kills. No two ways about it. And that's a very solid round from Invictus when you're in a 5-3.
Tactical timeout, surely.
It's going to be a good time, and Tactical comes out. Can only presume at this point in time it's from Talon. We'll get confirmation hopefully soon, but things now starting to get a little bit concerning for Talon. You would expect on the defense here on Oregon for their position to be strengthened. But Invictus are stepping up.
And this is the difference where, you know, they're going to repeat dorms rather than go for kitchen meeting. We think back to the opening half. Invictus won laundry supply, and then they went to dorms, and Talon ended up winning it. Now, instead of repeating dorms, Invictus went straight for kitchen meeting, and from there, they actually then went and did the world tour and got themselves back into a good spot. Talon, on the other hand, they look like they're going for a repeat. Now, I don't mind repeats if you showed a little bit where it's like, just, you know, fix this thing, you know, tweak this, but they didn't really offer much, and it was a pretty decent attack from Invictus. So unless Talon saw something where they're like, okay, well, maybe just don't allow the Maverick to win White Stairs that comfortably, let's just play a little bit safer there. I don't know, I think this might play into Invictus' hand, and if they lose this here on dorms, that's a 6-3, that's match point. Yes, they'll have laundry supply, you win that, whatever, now it's 6-4, you then have 2 rounds on either dorms or kitchen meeting anyway. I think they should have gone kitchen meeting.
I guess time will tell whether or not that was a decisive decision one way or the other. If Talon do win this forthcoming round, then, you know, it sets them up nicely, and Invictus will have to start posing some questions, but if Invictus claim the round, then they have a big buffer, map point in hand, 3 rounds. And that's a full rotation, so they'll be in the box position to close out Talon's map pick. And, I mean, it's into Invictus, but at the same time as well, Chalet is still very much up in the air.
Chalet is the question mark for me.
Can't get too excited.
I'm actually more concerned about Chalet than I am about Oregon, despite Talon obviously being a very proficient team at Oregon, good, you know, historical performances on it. Chalet is the massive question mark. Despite Invictus picking it, I still am not sure how that's going to go. But that's the thing, right? They actually then, therefore, need to win Oregon to at least have that comfort of, okay, let's give now Chalet an absolute try. If it doesn't work, we've got Clubhouse. Invictus will win Clubhouse. I reckon 90% chance of them winning that one. It's just the, like 11-4 on Clubhouse versus 4-5 of Talon. It's super one-sided. in that regard, whereas Oregon's very close. Chalet, very one-sided to Talon. Still, long way to go in this game. It's not over yet. Dorm's a massive factor as we go for the repeat, because for all intents and purposes, right now it's 5-3, and we're talking about 2-0s and other maps, etc. If Talon still win Dorms here, they've got launch resupply after that. Then suddenly it's 5-5. It's a completely different ballpark there. So still a massive round here in the 9th.
What's the game plan here for Invictus? Can only assume that Joe with the hard bridge will head over towards Games Wall, pop that open. This is an interesting hold from the twitching Luna. Punch hole through small tower, so hyper aware that there might be a roam being executed on that side of the map. Joe can pretty much do his thing, ensure Games gets open. Hysterics can offer some support over towards Armory and hold that cross from the lobby flank. As you can see, bot left of screen, there is a Talon defender all the way down below. There's lots of stairs, so that might come into play a little bit later.
Yeah, tense moment here. Oh, and all of a sudden, it's only a minute and 10 seconds left. It's been a quick one. Games Wall's going to get opened up. Opening pick for Invictus, just like the round prior. They had a 5-on-3 advantage before they ended up pushing onto site. This time, though, it won't be. It's a 4 versus 4. The Maverick gets shut down, but so does Azzy elsewhere, courtesy of Hysterics. Hysterics and Speakeasy both having big games here. 8-5-5. Luna finds the elimination onto Demic. He, too, also is 8-5. Now, Speakeasy is down. He's out for the count now. Joe pushes in, looking for a trade. Notice the play inside of Pit. Heady with a double heady with the SMG-11. Hysterics falls as well to Canos, and suddenly things have fallen apart for Invictus. They had the winnable position. Luna has 30 seconds to maybe salvage it. Over towards top white stairs, diffuser in the hands of Talon. He's got no time, has to push in, doesn't clear the player inside a kid. Spots that head though. Now picks up diffuser. Oh! My goodness! What a shot from Luna to win the round for Invictus. And they now find themselves in match point territory here on Oregon on Talon's map pick.
He might not have won the 1 versus 2 clutch on the flip side, on the attack, or pardon me, on the defense, but he does on the attack. Well done by Luna. The F2 absolutely shredding. Through and through for the most part, though, really. That should have been an Invictus round. Joe got the absolute worst timing on that push, which gave an in for Talon, and to their credit, they hit some gnarly shots, some really strong swings to get it to that position, but I think at the end of the day, Invictus...
I question the positioning a little bit there, because you can't play off of each other. I know you're close, but just the angles they're holding, you can't play off of each other at all.
I think the shield as well also made things a bit complicated, a little bit awkward, but...
Imagine you had one in like Attic and one, and if one had a crossed over towards, say, like Games or something, right? And then you're both sort of watching the same angle of the diffuser, but from the other side. If Luna goes for that play, pushes towards the middle of it, he just gets sandwiched. Now, obviously, you don't know exactly where he's coming from, but regardless, big play from Luna. Maybe Talon could have done things a little better, but you got to give all the credit to Luna. It's kind of like the earlier series with Direwolves and Cyclops. Match point, map point, to be specific here. 6-3 for Invictus. Launching supply, though, this is where you would probably hope / expect Talon to at least draw one back here, make it 6-4, and then force Invictus to win upstairs again.
Been rough goings for Talon in the last few rounds. Invictus outclassing their opponents and proving that they are one of the strongest teams in APAC. Oh, Jordan. Oh, jeez, I thought he was running on the spot. I was going to say that would have been very, very unfortunate, but it looks like he's all good on that hard breach roll, but hasn't been afraid to get his hands a little bit dirty, and I mean, that's what Maverick is great for. 3 speed, 2 nades, strong primary, the M4, so he can do damage if called upon. And Invictus are a team where if one hard breach drops, another will step up, and that has been the case thus far. Now, there has been some rotations created here by Talon, but they're not being actively held. Quite passive down below here for Talon. It worked last time. They were able to hold on as Invictus kind of messed up the timing a little bit on their push, so provided the attack tidies that up, Talon could be in a bit of pressure. Under a bit of pressure.
I think Talon are already under the pressure. The fact that it's 3 map points. You know, even if you do get the job done as expected on launching supply, kids dorms, kitchen meeting, both need to be won. They literally need to do the world tour now to send this to overtime. They have to win all 3 sites. And so far, Talon, the only site they've been able to win is laundry supply. Did not even attempt kitchen meeting, and they've lost dorms twice. Does not bode well for them on their map pick, on Oregon. Which, you know, if I'm going to be blunt, if I had ever seen them winning this series, it was in a 2-0 fashion. I just don't have them winning Clubhouse. Could happen. I've seen funnier things happen in Siege history, but they will definitely go in as underdogs there. Minute left here in this 10th round. Still no real sign of conflict between either team.
Reworked bulletproof cameras on display here from Hetty, but not for long. Immediately taken down, so that EMP charge not being utilized by the defense, which may allow Invictus to gain a little bit more information with the 7 drones that they do have remaining. Joe will just touch up the security hatch, ensure that's open, so there's a bit of pressure now in towards Freezer, and Invictus in a strong position to convert this round, but it's going to come down to the timing, to the trading, to the execution of this push. Can they time it correctly? Can Talon on the flip side try and disrupt?
Speak
my
easy. Gets the opening pick onto Hetty. There's a second one from Luna. 11-5 now, but now makes it 11-6 with the fall to Azzy. Hysterics gets involved, so does Jordan now as well. Needs to maybe find this final kill. Joe does the honors. Hysterics got 2 just before that. It's good half. It's a good map from Invictus Gaming International. They take a 1-0 lead here in the lower bracket semi-final. 7-3 in the end. Pretty one-sided.
A good performance there from Invictus, taking on their opponent's map pick. A strong performance all round, and Hysteric's looking good. He's obviously not played a whole lot of Siege recently. It's unfortunate he did miss out on that Sweden major, but he's bouncing back quite nicely in this particular matchup. A strong start. He'll be happy with that, and just across the board, Invictus outclassing their opponents, as mentioned previously, setting themselves up for that 2-0 to continue that run through the lower bracket.
I dropped my pen, and guess what I found there? It's a ball. It's a ball that Talon dropped. They dropped the ball there on Oregon. It was their map pick. They needed to do a little bit better. 7-3 kind of scoreline, where I don't think it does justice for a team that has some pretty decent historical numbers on it. 10-3 from their last 13 games. Pretty decent win rates, both attack and defense. And yet, honestly, Invictus made them look a little bit second-rate with a 7-3 victory.
Yeah, and I think a lot, well, on the attacking half for Talon, a lot of that was their pacing, particularly mid-round. They got slowed down quite often, and then it didn't build up into meaningful executes, where often they found themselves always crawling back from an unfavorable position. And Invictus, to their credit, were holding on quite nicely on a lot of these defenses. There were a couple of ones that were a little bit sketchy, and Talon actually looked quite strong, but Invictus edging out in the end ultimately. And then heading into that second half, Invictus on their attack, they made very few mistakes. The basement attack was really their only blemish, where again the timing was not amazing, but then as we saw in the final round, they could tidy that up. They even threw a Glaz into the mix for a bit of banter, and were able to get that across the line, and a good clutch there from Luna as well for filling them with confidence. Yeah,
I think there's confidence as well for IG heading really into the rest of this series moving forward. Maybe not as much confidence on Chalet as I would like, but at the very least, I'll have Clubhouse as a decider. It's almost there as the backup. If things do go wrong on Chalet, they've got the job done in Oregon. They don't have to worry about being knocked out. So it does have to be said, though, this was an elimination game, guys. This was a match or a series where if they lose, they're out of the quals, they're out of SI, and yet they chose Chalet. They surely have something up the sleeve.
I mean, they've got it right. It's the most banned map. It's a map that statistically we don't have a huge amount of data on. So if Invictus are prepared for this second map, I'd be pretty shocked.
Short break. When we come back, we head to Chalet.
call my bluff for the last time. This ain't a song, it's a battle cry. No life. I see the clue between the strobe lights. I'm haunted, black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Used to want it bad, used to want it bad, but I can't taste it. I can't help you now, okay? Follow me around, okay? Black face. Got too much up on my plate, now I can't think. I said woke up, take a action, now I'm feeling this is it. Want the money, want the rest. I do purse, not no cess. They say Donis, why you sad? I said I just need the thing. Red tape, got too close, I hate the city. Black face, show you everything you need to you fornicate it bad. Someone said it's sad. I used to want it bad. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you too many times. Yeah. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you. I know it's in my head. Follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my
When you found me like that, I was doing not bad, didn't care about you. I was high as fuck, wasn't looking for love or anything new. It ain't funny, little devil in disguise, think you got me, yeah. You're so naughty, I feel something leaping into my body. Cause you shut me in the heart, can't get over it. In the other part, I recover it. When I look what you done, you made me fall too fast. Wait.
Invictus leading at the moment in the lower bracket semi-final matchup against Talon. 1-0, taking their map pick on Oregon away from Talon. So Invictus now go to their own map pick of Chalet Girls, which that in itself has been a big question mark because statistically it's their worst map.
Well, it is, right? You look at the win-loss record, only 3 maps to go off throughout 2021. 1 win, 2 losses, 30% attack win rate, 58% defensive win rate. Nothing standing out as being amazing there, actually. I mean, that defensive win rate's alright, but the rest is a little bit dodgy. The one number, though, that really does stick out like a sore thumb is the ban rate. 31 times they have banned this map. That is by far their most banned map. Second is Coastline at 26 bans, so that is a lot of various series, 31 series where they have literally banned out this map, which is crazy, suggesting that they must have been hiding it to be confident enough to play it in this match, which is critical when 6 invitational qualification is on the line. It's no joke to be messing around in the map beta.
I'm trying to find the last couple of times that Invictus has actually played Chalet. We have to go all the way back to the 23rd of October against a team called Renatus. They lost that one 7-3. Prior to that one, though, we continue to keep scrolling, and I can't find it. Unless I'm blind, I can't find it on this sheet. So I'm going to blame Dev and his match tracker, as always. Oh, no, hang on, I found... Okay, no, sorry. So they played it 7-1 victory against No Use Talking. So in some of the lower leagues, they've played it, but even then, that's not good because they haven't really got the best results on it. So in some ways, you know, you pose the question of hiding it, for instance. It's just a map that even when we do see it, doesn't have good results for them. Hiding, not hiding. Their last time that they actually played it, was obviously the 6 major against Sonics. They lost it 7-4. But in APAC, yeah, we don't really see it from them in APAC South, for instance.
No, we don't. So expectations are a little bit up in the air, and Talon, obviously with a bit of an opportunity here to maybe make the reverse swing. Unfortunately, did just lose their map pick in Oregon if you are just joining us, and for the most part, it was pretty convincing from IG, who are looking rock solid at the moment. First 3 bans as they come through, very much straightforward. Valkyrie as well, not too unexpected on almost any map, as those cameras are very, very potent, and the change in which her cameras can't be placed, or they can be placed outside, but they time out, that is still yet to actually come into the live build. So we might see that meta shift around a little bit, but even interior cameras with Valkyrie are ultra powerful, so no big surprise to see her taken off the board.
So 1-0 for Invictus. They're on the defense first here on Chalet, which is probably a good sign. I know you touched on their defensive win rate of 58%. Not too bad. It's their 30% attack win rate, which is awful. It's their worst map for attacking, and it's not even close. The next one is 48% on Bank, which is actually their other worst map, basically. So that's not a good sign either. So they're going to have to rely on a defender-sided Chalet, which, if that is the case, Talon Esports' 67% defensive win rate in 8 matches of Chalet, 6-2 record. It's their best map defensively. So even asking for a defender-sided Chalet would not go into the favor of Invictus. So they need to buck the trend. They need to show us something that maybe they have not shown us before on Chalet as to why they chose it, and going up against a pretty decent team on Chalet as it is. So it's a good test here for Invictus.
And placing, or 8 places, quite a bit of emphasis pardon me, on this first half. They'll be looking for no less than 4 rounds here. Anything less than these numbers start to look a little bit damning against them if you just want to look at statistical analysis and just raw numbers. Of course, that can play out very differently. These 2 teams have played head-to-head on this map, so who knows what the meta could evolve into, and quite dated. Look at the history, so obviously don't want to read into it all that much, but it's really all we have to go off. So placing emphasis on this first half. Invictus, 4 rounds, that's what they're aiming for. We head over towards bar for the first round. Extension up above, lots of different lines of sight, some footholds and rotations have been established here. So a fair few traps that could make life challenging for Talon.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is knowing the fact that they brought up Chalet at the 6 major against Sonics. It was, what, 7-4 scoreline. It probably does speak to the fact that Invictus are working on it, are trying to bring it into their map pool as they lose Speak Easy early on. Opening elimination for Hetty. Habana on the board. So I guess it's not... It wouldn't be that outlandish. It's pretty evident that they're working on it.
Canos utilizing the drone hole next to the A chassis to send in a grenade, maybe trying to find a piece of utility. Hysterics finds Hetty though. 4 versus 4. Ooh, that's a pretty nasty nade. Takes down the deployable shield. Hysterics, funnily enough, doesn't take all that much damage. Will survive and continue to hold this pillar position, despite it now no longer being fortified. Luna will find the second for Invictus in this round, and once again, Talon stalled out in the mid portion of this attack.
Well, Soldier finds the kill onto Hysterics, but this has not been a conventional take from Talon. You generally see that sweep across from Solar over towards Master and then Office, and then generally clearing out the 2 shields, one over towards Chimney, one top library stairs. Luna, I mean, effectively playing inside of Piano, doesn't even have to worry at this point about behind him. This is usually where you would see the attacking team on a bar game's defense. They would be here. They'd be clearing out these Sawyer gates. They would be clearing out these positions, and yet now Luna is the one looking into library.
40 seconds now on the clock as Demiak will drone over towards Piano and likely find a target, but Talon don't really have much time to go chase him down. Instead, they need to focus their sights on the objective. Jordan in bar stock, not in the most typical of positions.
Oh, they're going to win this.
Tucked away in the corner, can look to deny that hatch drop. 20 seconds on the board, and yeah, I mean, IGN is such a good spot.
As long as Luna times this flank, as long as Joe times this flank perfectly. 10 seconds left. Jordan inside of bar stock. He'll always get 1 or 2 here. It's just going to be the one for one. But now there's no time. Now Luna and Joe, though, they'll be making their flanks. They'll be making their appearances on site. There you go. Deny the plant. I mean, all he has to do is push over from Piano to library, knowing the ball dropped, knowing the ball rotated away easily. And obviously you had Joe there as well for good measure. Strange attack, in my opinion, from Talon. All the focus on library. And in the end, that makes it super easy for Luna and Joe to flank late round. It's Invictus who take the opening one here on Chalet.
Master bedroom and office will be the second site in play for this second map. And judging off the performance of the first objective, IG not messing around. And unfortunately, some of the issues from Oregon are still plaguing Talon. The mid-round portion of their attacks, they are a little bit slow, a little bit staggered. Really struggling, it feels, to establish meaningful dominance around the objective. IG was still left to freely roam around, go for flanks. That was ultimately Talon's demise. So that's something they need to lock down. And obviously, that's easier said than done, right? You can have even the best strategical calls against a team like IG and still lose rounds because you're taking on the likes of Speakeasy and the likes of Hysterics on these roams, on these takes, and that's just such a tall order to try and come up against.
Luna onto the clash, and I would imagine we'll play the stairs position, try and deny the solar take from Talon.
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
And we could basically play anywhere, but that's probably the assumption. As long as Talon do go for a solar take, I mean, you know, they could go elsewhere. Could actually sweep across here from library side, if they wish to. But they would be a little bit silly to completely give up solar in its entirety.
Canos just flicking that drone down below, ensuring that he and Hetty don't get run out on this position. Again, Invictus would be a team to go for a play like that.
Where is
Second
Luna?
drone established towards Solar. I don't know. That clash, I would assume, is being used over towards the library side to try and deny that entry, but could also be used in office to slow down Belk. I think that might be what's happening. Yeah, he's inside of office.
Yeah, could have played that trophy stairs position as well. and put a bit of pressure on the two repelling. And
I mean,
it doesn't, and Canos now just gets straight into Solar.
I will say, Solar's been droned. It's free. They've got double window control, provided that run out's cut off. Talon are in a really good spot here. This is textbook Solar take, and from here, they're looking much stronger than last
Well,
year.
textbook Solar take, but there's absolutely no defense from Invictus on this.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, I mean, like, when I say nothing, I mean literally nothing. Like, Luna's not there. They had nothing set up. No Sawyer gates, no gas babes, no denial, no one peeking it. And as you said, one little drone. That's it. You got Solar position now for Talon. Minute 20 seconds left. Look at all of this opened up. You can't play on site now inside a bedroom at all.
It's all about Talon playing this smart, though, calculated, ensure that they get this plant down. Have those crosses covered, ensure that the plant is safe to get down. And they are, I mean, just look at where all these players
Have they baited them in? Like, is this the ultimate play to get them into Solar?
I mean, maybe, but they need denial down below with the Nitro. I don't think they even have that. So Invictus are in a really, really
There is
rough
one
spot.
down below.
I don't think it's going to be enough, though.
45 seconds left. I guess the one good thing for Invictus is no one is dead yet, and you've still got that Clash being a bit of a nuisance. Heady pushes in. He's about half health. Does actually get a bit of a adrenal surge. Speakeasy falls. He's just going to go for the plant. 4 versus 3 as he gets through to Joe. That was the Nitro Cell that was still on the side available for Invictus. Plant down. Really nothing that Luna could do there. In the end, the Clash not all that effective. Hysterics does get the kill onto Canos, and then Demic will get the trade, and that's the round.
Yep.
That was absolutely abysmal from Invictus Gaming. That was poor.
It was free real estate at the end of the day for Talon, and they did a really good job in establishing that and knowing that quite quickly. One drone was enough to ensure that Solar was clear. And yes, Invictus had this somewhat elaborate setup, but I mean, it wasn't too complex with some of the long lines of sight, but even those couldn't really be capitalized upon. And then you're forced to move, and what's stopping you from moving? Well, the big double window cross, which is almost impossible to dislodge, and almost never does get dislodged. So
No.
Invictus, yeah, they just gave it away for free. Talon, though, of course, droned it out, did a really good job in just making sure they knew what was clear, knowing what wasn't. They weren't too scared by the Clash. They were able to deal with Luna relatively easily. Got the plant down in the safest and most calculated position. I mean, they literally played that near perfectly. So,
Well,
props to them.
in the past, we've seen, especially for Master Office, if you've got a couple of players repelling, you have the Clash trophy stairs, and then you even have a fragger, say, over towards bathroom or, you know, on site or something. And it's pretty difficult to overcome that. I mean, we've even seen Capitao get chosen just to try and clear off that trophy stairs position to deal with the Clash. And if you don't have that Capitao, it's generally quite difficult. Nades have to be thrown, and it's a whole mini game in itself. And yet you bring the Clash and you just sit it on site. It's an intriguing prospect that you give up Solar that easily. Still, we move forward over to kitchen dining, which while we do change site, we're not really going to change position all that much. They'll be defending up above.
Deadly trio up on this roam. The Stoke Speakeasy and Luna. I would not want to be coming up against that. But Talon, if they want control of the site, will need to. And establish dominance up above the objective. Begin to work vertically down below with the likes of Demic on the sledge. Based on the way Talon cleared Solar last time, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility for them to do
There's
this,
got to be more
but-
defense this time. There has to be.
Yeah, exactly. I think the resistance is going to be a little bit more, what's the word? Stronger? I'm trying to think of a word. Menacing probably is the right word. A little bit more menacing from Invictus. Show a bit more
I
face.
don't see anything, though. I don't see anything. I see 2 down below. I see 1 up above on site, but, like, that's about it. I guess you've got... Oh, never mind. That's a nice shot from Speakeasy. Well, there's your 1 up above inside a closet. He is trying to play 2 angles. He's trying to play that big window in bedroom. And obviously trying to deal with Solar. Luna with a nice Nitro Cell. Well, this is indeed a little bit more menacing. This is better. More proactive as well in their approach, right? And obviously, look at the difference already. Heady can't push into Solar now, right? It's not much. It's a reinforced wall with soft wall open up next to it, but he can't push in. Hysterics now gets rid of Soldier. Invictus with a 2-man advantage. That's probably this attack done with. And again, still on the repel. Because at any moment, right, it's that mental aspect that at any moment Hysterics could peek, swing, and shoot. You can't repel in. Not unless you get the info. Big difference this round. And this is something that really IG just had to do in the last round, and that would have helped a lot.
Maybe they should get you on the analyst team. Get you on the desk.
That's when you know you're down bad.
That's when you know you're never going to win another game.
I'll just sit up here in my, my ivory tower. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Make the easy calls.
You at your best at running people over with the bus.
Yep. Including myself earlier on. This round's over, by the way. This is
That's
very
why
much
we're
done.
talking. That's why we're just
Yeah.
trying to find something to talk about.
But
I
I
mean-
think it just goes to show the difference, right? And while it might have sounded a little bit harsh in the last round, you can kind of just see it in this round, what they did to find more success in dealing with that solo push. Just quickly, I guess, it's still 2 versus 3, 10 seconds. Diffuser in hand for Heady, but despite that elimination onto Joe, there's not much else that's going to be found because the other 3 are playing super smart, super passive, and super safe. Plank goes down on site. Jordan will swing. He'll get the elimination onto Demic, and then he'll get the last one with the shotgun. Much better round from Invictus. Much, much better. And that's kind of all I wanted to see from them in the round prior.
Yeah, much cleaner. Playing into their opponents, reacting accordingly, and ensuring that no free ground is given. Pretty important on a map like Chalet, which is relatively small, and those entries can be well isolated by the defense if they actually want to commit to it. Which on that occasion, Invictus were more than happy to do so. Now that we're in the 4th round, of course, sites begin to now reopen up. So the bar is now pouring drinks, and Invictus will be looking to get their 3rd defensive round on the board.
Tell you what, that was a good one, Michael. Well done.
Thanks. Honestly, I'm actually really struggling at the moment. I have a really bad cough. Like, almost every time you're talking, I'm having to take my headset off. So I'm not having too much fun in that department, but
It's all
we
right.
soldier on.
Pour,
We soldier on.
pour yourself a drink.
Yeah, I'll have a fresh water.
Fresh water.
Maybe a sparkling water. Are you a fan
Oh.
of sparkling water?
Not really.
Ah,
No.
no, I am. I love that that TV static feeling.
I'll drink it if it's there and that's all there is, or yeah, but it's not really my cup of tea. Over the bar games though, this will be pretty standard. Shield over towards Chimney, over at the mezzanine. Most likely one top library stairs, which just has not been placed yet by Joe. The big question here, right, bringing it back to sort of that first round, was the way that Talon actually attacked the site. It was a bit more of a library-focused take, rather than pushing through solar, sweeping through bathroom, bedroom, office, piano, and then clearing out those library positions, having a player on the outside of the balcony at that window. That's the more conventional take, and generally has the most success, and yet they did not go for it.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
Although if you are going to go for a bit more of a library take, I think this sort of window position from Soldier, looking into the mezzanine, get that established first is key.
Could well be the case. Now, magnets in play, speak easily. Placing those around now. Historics as well has a position over towards pillar, deployable shield still standing, so you can hold that at the moment. Joe typically,
Oh, that missed.
well, in that typical position, library, yeah, it did. X-Carrays don't though, so
Oh, those are shot off.
should be exposed, but yeah. Joe on the cross.
That's
Not
2
made
wins
his
in a
name.
row for IG. Like, they're little wins, but still 2 wins, and he's still there. He should have been forced off by now and hasn't been forced off. The nade missed the shield, and the X-Cars get shot out. And there's, what, minute 40 left. This could end up being a late round execute for Talon if they even get to that point. That's so unlucky. I don't know what else to say. He literally just walked straight into that nade, but he had no idea that it was flying in that position, in that direction. Not much you can do there. You just kind of throw your hands up at that point. But that is the chimney mezzanine position cleared. Still have to clear top library stairs. The biggest thing is not allowing that late round flank that we saw from Luna in the opening round, playing from piano. Obviously, with the way they're taking it this time around, I don't think they're going to allow that. Oh,
Ooh,
hello, Luna.
with the Roni. Making it work despite it being nerfed to the ground. Drops to the ground.
Not nudged into the ground.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
Still usable there. We've seen it a little bit today still. Able to find himself.
If it was nerfed into the
Sanctuary
ground, you wouldn't
Insight.
see it at all, mate. Come on.
It's just a figure of speech. Settle down. Heady. He's not settling down. Luna is actually dealt with. And Talon with a strong advantage now. Make it 2. Joe and Jordan need to connect with 30 seconds left.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been
Still winnable. Generally defense on site bar games. Jordan gets the ping, gets the info. The SMG-11 not nerfed into the ground. Put to good use.
seconds left.
Still one more adrenal surge here for Soldier. He can pop that with Demic. They can both push in. 2 versus 2, but time is definitely of the essence. Jordan's got 3. Oh, Soldier, no, you won't want to watch those ones back ever again. The whiff does not help his cause. The trade would have been there anyway. Let's be real. As soon as he would have walked in, that elimination from Joe was always going to take place. It's another round win for Invictus Gaming. They go up 3-1 here on Chalet.
Wow, Talon, it's rounds like those that you need to be winning. And that goes to be said against every team in every matchup, right? But it's not all that often where you're going to have an advantage against Invictus and then, you know, they're not going to make you pay, right? If you've got an advantage, you need to be capitalizing upon that. Goes to show that Invictus just don't go down without a fight.
Yep.
And they do a good job there in recovering that effort. We go back to Master. And that's actually not the absolute worst scenario if you're a Talon player or a Talon fan. Because last time, when they attacked this side, Invictus looked horrible. They looked honestly really, really bad. Like, by far the worst we've seen them today. And they've had some shockers against the likes of Direwolves. So, keen to see what changes up here. If maybe if you're just joining and you don't remember, or you don't remember. Talon went for the full solar take. That's over towards the western side of the map, far side of the map from where we are currently. 1 drone, and they could see that it was crystal clear. There was absolutely nothing stopping them from taking it. They then positioned a player up on double window of master bedroom, and it was a pretty easy plan. Invictus weren't able to recover that round. So now we get to see if that dynamic changes. Do Talon reattempt the same push? Do Invictus double down on util? We'll have to wait and see.
So Jordan's opened up that wall next to the reinforced wall, and that's the way that they did it in the round prior of kitchen dining, and it worked out wonders for them. Still not playing Luna over towards trophy stairs, so none of that immediate pressure on the propellers, but you don't need him there. As long as you've got pressure from that closet position, then that's fine, right? Like, it's a little bit harder for them to repel in. The biggest thing about actually repelling in is the animation time, and you get that audio cue. So as soon as you try and repel in, if someone's got an eye on that position of the window, you're probably dead 9 times out of 10 if they can just swing and peek as soon as they hear you repel in. So you only want to go in when you know it's absolutely clear.
Soldier making sure his coast is clear over towards West Main, joining himself in. As he on the Nomad, he's probably one of the better operators to play on the double window rappel if so desired. He can place air jabs on the run out down below. And also front door as well if needed. Good information from Soldier here. Let's speak easy down below. Interesting enough to, I guess, have an interesting decision to have that projectile denial operator playing underneath the objective, but Canos does capitalize a strong entry here from Talon.
Look at that scoreline for Speak Easy. I'm not saying it in a way that, oh, you know, he's playing bad, but 1 and 5 is not the kind of stat line you tend to see from arguably the best player in APAC South. He's having a bit of a doozy right now on Chalet, but he's also the kind of player that can go 1-5 and then within 1 round it'll be 5-5. Canos playing this kitchen position well though for Talon, and just at least establishing that vert. And can now actually just push up the trophy stairs freely, make things so much easier for Heady. Once Canos could just walk in to Solar, clear it. Tries the Gemini forward, goes for the drone instead, but as he's just doing a lot of work here. Finds another kill onto Joe, and that's going to probably be the round. Invictus again not offering much here on Master Offers, which is so surprising because their kitchen dining defense was so much better, despite it being essentially the same kind of setup, just without the clash, which again, Luna, what?
What?
So
really
the
wasn't
clash
expecting that.
literally did nothing the entire round. It's again, this is just the same thing that happened in the second round. You're just giving Talon 3 rounds here. I don't know. That was, again, just the same as the last attempt of Master Office. Abysmal.
Clean from Talon though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
they are straight up just, it's textbook solo. Outside of maybe that entry drone down below, which is awesome from Canos, it was just straightforward, simple siege, and they're getting it across the line. Invictus really straining under some of the weaknesses of that objective and of that solo push, and not really being adaptable enough. They tried that roamer down below. I think they were trying to maybe lean into that clash a little bit more, and it just really wasn't clicking. So unfortunate there for Invictus. Some may say they've gifted Talon around, maybe a lifeline as well in this match, but still a long way to go. Kitchen
Defenders, protect your bombs.
should be confirmed here by Invictus, and a 4-2 Scotland, like we sort of prefaced earlier, is probably their pass mark.
Yep.
Bomb located by attackers.
3-3 though would be pretty detrimental for Invictus. From a 3-1 position to then allow Talon to get the last two of the half would be perilous. This is still very much a must-win kind of round for them. And you go back to some of the statistics of their attacks on Chalet. It is statistically their worst map at attacking at a 30% win rate. Now that's a pretty small sample size of 3 games, but this is a map that banned 31 times. That's a massive sample size. Clearly a map they struggled with in the past, and while they've obviously been okay on every site bar Master Office, we don't know how they're going to go on the attack. So this is must-win territory. And the kitchen dining last time was actually pretty good.
Swift draining from Talon over towards Trophy. They've established that's clear, but easier said than done. You cannot jump straight in towards Trophy. You'll get cut down from Kitchen. But it is vital information. If Talon want to commit to Solar, then they know that they can transition that control across, and there's not much really standing in their way. Joe is in sight, and he'll be looking to ensure no one bolts into that window. Elsewhere, Talon begin to drone up above. This is the one weakness that Invictus have had when they're defending bedroom. That said, though, when they're extending, pretty strong.
This might end up being a tense kind of round. Yes, sir. It's Azzy. Big elimination onto Hysterics. 4-3 now on the Nomad. From that library balcony position, finds the opening kill and just gives Talon the slight advantage now. And now it's not quite panic stations, but you're going to be a little bit worried. That's full white on Speakeasy, half health as well. But Hetty does not repel him. Boy, the Heat doesn't need many bullets to land, but Speakeasy headshot and gets away with his life intact. He had low health, now he's got no health, but yet still alive. Minute left, and just even being able to stay alive and find a position to just sit in and still be a factor that Talon have to deal with, it's massive with a minute left.
It's almost like when Talon take one step forward, they're then shoved 3 steps back by Invictus. It's just the nature of this relentless defense. Soldier tries to commit to the peak down below in towards Kitchen.
Time.
Maybe with Speakeasy being low, the tradability for Talon isn't awful, but they need to start kickstarting this control in towards Trophy. Time is becoming very, very close.
30 seconds left. That's how you see the repel out. They need to get something down below because everyone's basically up above. They had 3 out of 4 people above. Hatch still not opened either. 20 seconds left. I mean, come on, guys. You got to get going downstairs. This is kitchen time. This is not Master Office. Luna's down, though. That's a good start. Remembering, of course, Speakeasy has literally no health. One single pistol bullet will do the job. But we're into rant time. Jordan needs to go big up above, but it's Joe. He watches out as well. Soldier with the trade. Gets the headshot. Keeps the advantage. Time, though. Canot's going to get this down in time. He cannot. Mismanaging the clock is going to be the undoing for Talon. They had the numbers at the end, but they didn't have the time.
Yana had the kit then, right?
Yes.
Probably should be planting behind Chassis. Not sure why that call was made, but nonetheless, Joe did enough to disrupt the coverage, and getting it down probably would not have been on the agenda anyway. So solid work there from Invictus. A little bit sketchy, one of the tighter rounds we've seen thus far, but nonetheless, they achieved that pass mark. Keep in mind, Invictus, they have a very poor attacking win rate. From the 3 maps we've sampled so far last year, 30% was their win rate.
Yeah.
Well below the map average, well below their other maps in the pool as well. So, yes, they've got the lead, but it's only a slight lead when we look at that historical data. Invictus really need to step up here.
I mean, you got to think about, 30% of 6. That's enough to get them to at least overtime if they follow that statistics to a T. So, if you even just improve that by a little bit, then you can find yourself in a position where you can maybe go all the way. You know what's interesting about this, though, is, typically when we look at Chalet as a map, and you sort of disregard the teams, it's usually attacker-sided. For the most part. Even Bar Games gets opened up generally by good play. Master Office by no means is a impenetrable fortress for the defenders. Kitchen Dining, same thing said. Like, it very much can be attacker-sided. Some regions it's not, some regions it is. Most regions probably it is. But we're very much treating this as a defender-sided Chalet.
Jordan just being very careful as he approaches. Building that he doesn't get shots from the window. IG staring down the barrel of a greater extension in towards Solar. This is not what we saw from Invictus. They were very much playing back inside in Bathroom with the clash, but Talon looking to get in the face of their opponents a little bit more. They have Sawyer gates established. Maybe they have Sawyer stairs. I don't think they do, but could be facilitated if they wish. Invictus, I think, wants to contest this. Luna's still on that rappel and Joe down below on Vert, so let's see who's the better solo team.
And this is a position we didn't really see Talon play at all, that balcony position outside Piano. Obviously in the Oceanic region, you know who, it's Jigsaw's spot. But was not really a factor in the opening half. Could be if Hysterics or someone else wants to play from that. It is a very, very strong position. As he over towards top library. Yeah, this is a very, very intriguing Master Office defense right now from Talon. And I think Adzy's position might be the one that catches them off guard. If no one drones it, if no one checks it. I mean, look at the way that Jordan... Yeah, Jordan's got no idea. He's dead.
Oh, the timing though.
No, it's actually Joe that's dead. And then, fortunately, Speak Easy, the timing, as you mentioned, but in this case, as he's coming up bot library, he catches Azzy at mid.
Demar in hand. Running a pretty sick combo there with the blue attachment skin and the EG charm, but nonetheless, he's been able to pull off that trade. So it's a 4 versus 4. Jordan with Kit has rotated over towards the south, and it appears as if Invictus had forfeited on that solar push. Instead, they'll post up Hysterics on the balcony, and they'll look to open up that breach in towards office scope with the default plant at half wall. And Speak Easy, he'll be a key actor in this little play. Luna gets a nade onto Soldier.
35 seconds left. Still 3 Adrenal Surges available for Luna. We'll play over towards Piano now. It's just snuck over Speak Easy with a skeleton key. He switches it up. And he might get a couple more. Now that shield has kind of just changed sides. It was originally Talon's. It's now Speak Easy's. Diffuser down, but Canos! Oh, yes, he can find that shot onto Speak Easy. 2 versus 2. Retake now for Demic and Canos. Still 3 Adrenal Surges. Luna, get Jordan back up to full health before I have an aneurysm.
28 seconds left, leaving about 20 left for Talon to retake.
Press the
side,
button!
start hitting the kit. They start moving forward. Jordan, though, outside the window. That's going to force a wide swing from Talon, who are going to actually long-arm the kit. Demic, can he stick? Jordan forced to fall.
No.
Demic gets off, finds the kill, and finds the second. He jumps on the diffuser. He has the time, and Talon will claim the round.
I'm about to explode. Guz, please tell me there's a reason why he did an Adrenal Surge. Tell me, please. There's a reason. There has to be a reason. I've missed it. I'm dim-witted. I've missed it. Tell me it. Come on.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I had no idea he had an adrenaline.
He had
surge,
3. He didn't use any of them.
So... Really?
And Jordan was not at full health. He could have just got him back up to full health. Luna would have had a little bit of extra. And I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome, but just use it. Who knows? Maybe he lives with 1 HP. You don't know. Still. And honestly, even just using it and maybe it takes an extra bullet or two, who knows? It could have been something. Still, big round win for Talon from a position that I think Invictus should have won from.
It's too late to be yelling that loud. It's like 1 a.m. Sydney time.
No, I don't care.
I think I just woke up. I think I just woke up the street.
That's fine.
I mean, they're probably watching. I mean, they're
Oh,
probably
yeah.
watching
The whole
this
street?
game,
Yeah,
so-
for sure.
Yeah, the entirety of the world is watching this game. And why wouldn't they be? It's been a pretty good game. And Invictus already showing some signs of weakness here, maybe on the attack. Obviously can't get too far ahead of ourselves. They obviously got the player down and really should have won the round, but it's definitely highlighting they're not bulletproof.
Well, that is a key factor, though, is obviously we don't expect them to be able to, say, get 3 attacking rounds. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Is
5 seconds
I still think they can get 2. Getting 3 is the stretch, right? To get to 7 rounds, to win here on Chalet. Now, you win there on Master Office, and you've just got at least 1 out of the way. You then have 5 rounds to get 2. Now they're in a position where they've still got 5 rounds to get 2, right? Because it's the same sort of approach. Big, big, big weight off the shoulders of Talon. If they lose that round, and it's 5-2, I don't know if there's a way back for them. But now, they've got themselves in a much better position.
Well, you know what they say down in APAC South, you got to do it big. And Invictus committing to that mantra thus far. Seems like we're seeing a lot of action over towards Solar, particularly early round. Point of interest, well and truly for Invictus, who aren't always necessarily committing to actually pushing it eventually, but still wanting some control from that. Starks and Belk can aid in this push, and for the most part, it's free real estate for Invictus so far, and it's very much a classic setup here from Talon. They have a shield at the top of library stairs, a shield at mezzanine as well. That's a powerful crossfire that Invictus need to deal with.
Yeah, and they're going to make sure that, obviously, they don't let that last round get to them. Winnable position. You drop the ball a little bit, but it's all about getting back on the horse. And by the way, you know, I mentioned Speakeasy 1 and 5, and yeah, look at that, now 4 and 6. How quickly he's been able to get back into the swing of things. He does not stay down for long. If you're going to get a bad Speakeasy game, you only get half of it usually, and he'll find a way to frag out the other half. Double white for Soldier, and that's library stairs cleared nice and quickly. 1.5 left, still plenty of time. Of course, we want to maybe deal with the player, but there's not much Soldier can do now to sort of peek up and above. Otherwise, he'll generally lose his head. Still going to deal with Canos, though, in the shield over towards Chimney here on the mezzanine. And, I mean, minute 12. I think typically for me, I think a minute left on the clock and getting library control is the way you'd like it to be. As he falls, though, to Hysterics. And then there's a second one. Canos falls, so does Soldier. That's why you don't peek top library without the shield.
5 seconds now left. Heady with a last-ditched attempt over towards Dining Hallway to maybe find a trade back, but this is a very risky position. Surely a swing from the stairs will be his demise, and it also game's window exposed. If Invictus have decent information, they should know that they can literally just jump in and plant. I don't know where that second defender of Demic, his position I think was over towards Mud, right? So yeah, I mean, both of these players cannot deny a game's entry. Jordan's going to get in towards one of the objectives. It's B bomb site, Sticks they plant, Joe to cover, Demic to push forward. He's running the Invictus skin, but that's not going to count for much. Gets taken down, and Jordan gets up.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm on your team. Yeah, no, never was. And this is where it still just makes that Master Offer so saddening. We've literally been on match point right now. Well, not we, but we as spectators would be watching this game be on match point. Kitchen Dining now, 5-3 scoreline for Invictus. They get at least 1 of 2. You know, when you think about 2 as being the minimum you've got to get from this half, you've got 1. You've still got 4 rounds to play. A little bit of that pressure relieved. If you win now here on Kitchen Dining, well, then the pressure ramps up massively for Talon.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Very much echoing the previous map where Invictus were 5-3 up, and if they win this next round, that's 3 shots to get it done, and the rotation goes on. So, if you're a Talon fan at the moment, it's hard to get up and about, but don't lose faith just yet. This particular objective could lean into Talon still, maybe. Feels like at this point we're grasping at straws a little bit, but you just never know. Siege is a funny game, and Talon aren't rolling over. I mean, across the board, statistically, they've been incredibly consistent. Everyone's pitching in on these efforts. Same can be said for Invictus, where they are just edging out in a lot of these rounds. So I have to see how this one necessarily plays out. Expect above to be pretty important here for Talon. If they want control, they need to try their best in preventing the likes of Speak Easy from getting in the map and using that skeleton key. Once that happens, it's going to be so tough for the defense to come up.
Yeah, I guess in some ways this has gone a little bit back and forth now as well. IG, Talon, IG, Talon, IG. It's up to Talon now to kind of keep that train going. Capture for Demic. Give Talon now a drone. But Speakeasy finds the opening elimination on to Soldier. Said you can't keep him down for long. Although Demic gets one back onto Jordan. Joe falls as well. That's a quick little double over towards Trophy Stairs. That's why you want to put some pressure onto those around Solar. Make it very difficult to push in. Handy. Nicely done onto Speak Easy. I was about to say that's probably round over, but immediately Luna gets one back. Low on health. Still has 3 adrenal surges, though. Can heal back up. It has 2 minutes of time. Very close to sight, though.
Probably needs to find Heady here and get that kill. GV2 would be serviceable. He can boost himself up after this engagement, but he needs to win it. Heady is constantly in really off-angle positions. Difficult for Luna to get this read, and now he needs to find it.
Not going to happen now. Player pushing over towards... well, I mean, if Canos pushes into West Main, that's a free B. Oh, man, I don't even know how Luna has survived to that. Mustn't have been seen at all, right? Because otherwise, if he gets even just spotted, the spray through the soft wall would have come through. So it's going to be a 4-5 scoreline. Talon are going to continue this. Oh, there's a chance he could actually get 2 there. Because they were so close to each other. You saw what I saw, I think, there for a brief second. But doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. It's 4-5. Talon will take out Kitchen Dining.
Yeah, clean work there from Talon. Able to win out a couple of those key engagements. Heady, of course, very awkward through the bars there down towards Garage, but he dropped Speak Easy, who did get the opening kill and open up the round for Invictus, and from that point onwards, unfortunately, Luna was left with too much on his plate. He couldn't finish it off. Now we head over to Master and Office. Don't expect Invictus to win this round, right? Last time it was obviously quite close, and they did lose it in the post plant, but if Talon can tighten up a little bit, maybe play a little bit more heavily into plant denial, Invictus could find themselves in an even more compromised position than last time, right? So difficult to call how this one's going to play out, but Talon looking to dig deep and prevent that match point from coming to fruition.
Yeah, and Master Office, when we think back to the opening half, was won twice by Talon on the attack. So that actually means for Invictus to just straight up not won this side at all. Obviously, their defense of it was pretty abysmal. Their attack of it really wasn't all that bad, actually. This is a big one, though. So far, 3. 3 goes of Master Office, 3 losses for Invictus. Will it be 4 from 4? If Talon can win this, brings it back to 5-5, does keep then their hopes alive. Of course, Clubhouse after this will be a very difficult map for them to win, but you'd rather have a go than lose 2-0.
Sneaky drone from Jordan. It's a pretty interesting drone play for both teams, and foliage is in abundance on Chalet, and
Attackers
teams
have located
using
a
that
bomb.
to their advantage to try and hide these pre-placed drones and gain critical information. On the topic of information, here Hysterics will just send it forward and clear a whole bunch of utility on the side of the defense.
Mainly just cameras.
Yeah,
Still counts though.
still helpful. Oh, look at Talon. They're shaking. They're shaking. They're falling back. They don't want any part of that.
What, the Twitch drone?
Yeah. that one damage shot. I mean, do you remember the days when it did 10 damage?
Probably not.
Oh! You could kill people in the prep phase, but that's not really on the agenda anymore. Moving forward though, Speak Easy, the Danger Man. He started off really quietly on this map, remember? I think it was, what?
1 and 5.
And
Yeah.
now he's 6-7, so he's really stepped up in the last few rounds. And not only is he finding picks, but he's also been quite deadly with that skeleton key on a map like Chalet, which offers a lot of opportunities for self-destruction.
He found a kill with the skeleton key as well in piano a couple of rounds back too, so more than just opening up floorboards. This has very much been a drone game though from Invictus. They've only got 5 left, but boy, they've used them as much as they possibly can. Oh, the timing. He's made the cross as well, Lynn has no idea. He's just leapt straight into him. The trade should come through, but as he's already done the damage, he got 2 for 1.
Oh no. Joe does trades. That's not the absolute worst outcome here for Invictus, but deadly nonetheless. It's falling apart once more here on this objective, and Invictus now need to pose themselves for a plant. Still could be on the cards if they can get in towards half wall. I wouldn't count them out completely, but that's the sound of gas waves, and Hedy still has one more to deny time.
This is where you look to someone like Speak Easy to just push in, find 2 quick kills, make it a 2 versus 3, and then finish it off from there. Master Office has proven to be a difficult site for Invictus, both attack and defense, but Jordan's in, planting that diffuser now inside of Office. Speak Easy had him in his sights, but Soldier hits the shots, and now it's a 1 versus 4. The plant may be down, but it would take a miracle here from Jordan. Nice little shuffle over towards Piano side, but Soldier was there and waiting. That's the round. It's 5-5. It's now 3 of the last 4 rounds to Talon Esports, bringing it back here on Chalet.
The timing there from Azzy on that piano swing was just absolutely something else for Talon to get away with, but the 2-for-1 special made it work, and then from there, quite tricky for Invictus to get in towards that objective, get that diffuser down, and whilst they did stick it, unfortunately the coverage elsewhere did fall. So well played by Talon. They're digging deep. That's 2 rounds in a row now for them. They equalized that scoreline, and man, I love a round 11 when the scores are 5-5 because you just know that this is super critical in the context of this map.
Yep. The one good thing here for IG is they don't have to go back to Master Office here in regulation. Of course, if it goes to OT, that can be a factor again, but they did win bar games back in round 8. If they can do so again here, Master Office, of course, won't then be available. I would imagine either you repeat bar games or most likely Talon would go kitchen dining. So they don't have to do with Master Office. But bar games as a site, you know, historically and statistically is one of the better ones for defenders. Has probably seen attackers get a little bit better at opening it up, but you'd probably usually look to sites like Master Office as being the ones to maybe get as an attacking team. But for whatever reason, just both attack and defense, it's been so difficult for IG to take Master Office. And so far, though, Invictus has not lost on bar games. So if you take the Master Office approach where they haven't won it, well, they have not lost on bar games, both attack and defense.
Oof. Fun fact if you're Invictus, not so fun fact though if you're Talon. So.
Well, it means the pressure's on Invictus more than Talon here in this particular round.
True. But I think within the context of this series, right, the pressure's on arguably both teams. If you don't win this, going against it starts to look a little bit rough. When you consider the rotations, I really don't see where Talon are going to be able to win a round after this. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what plays out, but it's rough goings, and that's a testament to Invictus. Speak Easy. Oh, that he is so lucky. He has just been saved by that drone to his left, and he gets the kill. Perfect teamwork from Invictus. Otherwise, Speak Easy would have been just wiped off the face of the planet. But he gets away with it, survives, and thrives.
In terms of sight, it doesn't really do anything. You're just taking one off the board. You know, Frost has already done their job. Demic lurks down below, tries to basically do what Speakeasy has done, which is just establish that extra elimination. It does mean as well, towards Library Stairs, we saw that player try and push down towards top Library, that it is a little bit open.
Jump out.
Yeah, jump out trade. Oh, Jordan gets a big tag onto Azzy. You find that kill, that's bar stock vulnerable too, and that's on site, just about vulnerable. At that point, there would have only been Hetty and Canos alive, and just as he's staying alive, being able to sit inside of games and/or bar stock is huge.
I think it's up to Canos. He needs to be the one that initiates something huge off site here. As he's pinned, can't go backstore because of the line of sight. I think he's actually managed to go over towards Library Stairs. You can see left of screen. So maybe not the worst of outcomes, but Hetty, no doubt, under the pump behind bar. So I'm looking at Canos on that flank. He's probably the one that needs to try and step up and go for something, as he's low on HP as well, so not really in the best of spots. IG just recompose. They're not really feeling the pressure of the clock at the moment, and they can just ensure that they use the 3 remaining drones effectively.
Yeah, and everyone just kind of sits still for a minute. No one wants to make the first mistake. No one wants to put a foot wrong. Luna looks in towards backstore, and he doesn't find anyone. It's completely open, but he knows if someone's inside of games, they're going to want to fall in there. 35 seconds left, and now it gets to that point where Invictus are the ones that have to make a move, and they are surely now aware of that. They are the ones that have got to do something here. Be proactive. Force the hand of Talon. Yes, it's nerve-wracking. Yes, if you lose the first pick, you are down to a 3 versus 3 with little time, but got no choice here, and it is going to be Jordan falling to Canos. The trade will come through from Luna. I don't know why he's taking so long. I think he's just overthought it at the back of Library. He's got nowhere else to go. No time left. Speakeasy falls. Joe's the only one that's left. He's got no time to plant and find kills. That's the round. I mean, he can get this plant down, but they're just going to rush straight at him. It's match point Talon.
Whew. Wow. Really good effort there from Talon. They were pinned against the wall. Invictus did amazing groundwork there. Had the advantage, but still Talon able to dig deep. And that hold up above in Library, ultimately the demise of the Singaporeans. Talon now, map point in the bag. Maybe they can push for a third.
Yeah, just crazy. For that brief second, I think the hesitation from Luna has cost him there. And just allowed that swing out. Kitchen Dining for the final round of this half. Talon to send us to Clubhouse if they can close out here on Kitchen Dining. Otherwise, OT could be beckoning. I think it would only be our second overtime of the day. It's Invictus and Direwolves on Bank that went to 8-7. That was the only other overtime that we've seen. And the APAC closed qualifiers for SI. Since then, it's all been 7-4s and 7-5s. Will this be yet another 7-5? Talon sent us to Clubhouse, and then from there, what's their Clubhouse going to look like? A lot of questions.
5 seconds to insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
The trap card has been activated though, Luna on the Monty, so might be a final roll in the dice yet here on Chalet. As to the best of my recollection, we actually haven't seen Luna play the Monty yet, right? So
No, it's been banned out, typically. And obviously, this is the first time in this half.
So a Talon equipped enough to deal with it. They have the Banshees to try and slow it down, but they don't have a Legion, for example, or an ally to provide meaningful trap disruption, which could make life challenging. I'm very intrigued to see how Luna tries to reduce that knockdown.
And where as well, right? Like, that's the biggest thing, was where's Luna going to sort of play? How are they going to utilize it? Oh, this is a cheeky little angle from Canos inside of office. Of course, Kitchen Dining site. Extending up above as per usual, but look at that. I mean, if anyone walks through that library connector, unless it's Montang.
I could see that outline coming across as you were saying that sentence. I was like, oh god, you just set yourself up. Well, the Montang already proving to be at least somewhat effective. as Invictus begin to think about how they're going to open up the wall. Shock drone has made its way inside of office. IG wanting control up above the objective. Bedroom applying some pressure. Canos in solar. But Luna could just go forward and get free information. This is very, very valuable for Invictus. The Nitro in response chunks him low, but he will survive.
And that was their last Nitro cell. They've used both now, Hetty and Demic, so they don't have any more for the remainder of this round. Minute 15, a lot of time. That means Luna does not have to worry about any more Nitro cells. Obviously still low and has to be a little bit careful, but this is allowing IG to get full control up above. And I think Talon have realized that by holding that solar position, it's not really going to do them much good anymore. So there's a minute left. They've established vert control here for kitchen dining. It's a success for Invictus. Now it's all about late round execution.
45 seconds forward, Invictus just ensuring that there's no rats hiding in the corners of Trophy. They'll want to establish control there and then head into kitchen, get that plant down, try and cover the cross on those long angles. Hysterics, that's the first kill in this round. 30 seconds on the board, and he is playing a fair distance away from the rest of the team, but still a critical role.
Still a lot of utility as well. 6 flashes, you got 4 smokes. So you can just throw those out, clear out these ADSs, clear out these positions. Red time. Still a man advantage, but you're not going to be expecting Luna to find many kills, so you need Jordan. You need Speakeasy to get those kills here for IG. Luna's planting. Jordan's actually down now. Luna gets off at the plant. Should just mention that Soldier's picked up too. That's the diffuser. Down. That is the round. That is the map. How quickly in the game of Rainbow Six Siege can things just turn on its head? At one moment, it looked like OT was brewing. In the next, it's a 7-5 victory for Talon. We're going to a third map.
Wow, wow, wow. Talon have now taken their opponent's map pick. 1-1 in the best of 3, so we're going to end up going to Clubhouse, the decider. Quite close between those two, and yeah.
That's a good little,
that was a
good
crazy
game.
little flank. Yeah, actually, that was a pretty clean game of Chalet. I guess now, right, that opens up that discussion. Why? Why did we even play that map? Why did Invictus go there?
I don't think it was awful from them. Obviously, in the end, 5 of the last 6 rounds go the way of Talon. Defensively, you know, you win 4. I think, if anything, Invictus is like half a round away from being a good side on Chalet. You got the defense relatively down pat, except Master Office. If you can just improve some of the attacking prowess on Chalet, then I think you've got yourself a team that can probably add this to their map pool. Right now, I probably wouldn't, just off the back of what we saw. You know, only 1 attacking round is a little bit dismal. Master Office, basically unplayable as an entire site, which is a site that we see a lot of on Chalet. But I still don't hate it. I only hate it had they lost Oregon. Obviously, then it would have been a 2-0, but now they go to Clubhouse anyway.
Yeah, this was a funny little game of Chalet. I think there's definitely questions to be raised on Invictus' part on that bedroom defense, but ultimately, yes, that was costly in the context of the map, but at the same time, we also can't look past the fact that their attack was just poor, and it's a statistic we raised heading into this matchup. On the limited data we had, their attacking win rate was quite poor, and it was shown here in this matchup. I honestly don't think that Talon were doing anything too crazy amazing. Yes, they went for some extravagant flanks, that last round being an example, but that's, in my opinion, counterable pretty easily from Invictus if you have the right information in play, and didn't seem to be the case, and I think that means we'll see Invictus probably go back to the drawing board a little bit on Chalet. We may not see it in play too much in the future, and I mean, if Talon end up winning the next map, we'll look back at that, and that is just going to be such a costly mistake in the veto for Invictus to throw away a SI spot by going to a map like that. Of course, don't want to be absolutely bagging them, right? And it's always awesome to see a team take a bit of a risk in the veto, because it's actually not often we do see that, but I do think it was ultimately quite costly.
I find it strange that, I mean, because obviously as we go into Clubhouse, it was in the map pool and available, why they didn't choose Clubhouse and maybe allow Chalet as the decider map. That I could have probably got my head around that one a little bit more, because at the very least you've got Oregon, then you've got Clubhouse. I think that would have been a probably better position for IG, but still, obviously, by having already won Oregon, they now find themselves in a good position heading over to Clubhouse. Don't want to count out Talon just yet, though. When we go to the break, which is now on the other side of it, we've got our final map of this lower bracket semi-final.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
I faced myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your head, but you don't have to pretend that you will make a change, 'cause you don't wanna change. I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. forgetting who I was, or have to look back that far. And I don't want to forget who, get who. And are you just fucking around in my mind one last time? I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out.
It's the final map of the day coming up very shortly. Clubhouse not too far away to decide which team will be out of the closed qualifiers, TALON or Invictus Gaming. It will be bittersweet at the conclusion of this one, guys. Of course, for the winner, though, they move forward to tomorrow where they will be playing Direwolves.
You've laid it out very nicely, and yeah, I'm excited heading into this third map. Of course, each team has taken their opposition's map pick. We started back on Oregon, IG took that one over Talon, and then the reverse sweep over on Chalet, a closely fought contest. Clubhouse is, again, you look at the numbers, shaping up to be quite close. That said, Invictus edging out with their historical data, and they are a strong team on this particular one. But again, like we've seen so far today, very, very difficult to predict some of these results. Invictus had a very slow start to the day, and who knows if that will roll into this final map.
Of course, for so far this series, both teams have won the opposites map pick. You know, Talon losing out pretty comfortably in the end on Oregon, 7-3, and then they brought it back at least on Chalet, the map pick of Invictus. They won that one 7-5. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually probably expecting those scores the other way around. I would have probably thought Talon 7-3 on Chalet and maybe Invictus 7-5 on Oregon. Not to be though, and obviously now we head over to Clubhouse here for our third and final map. Not just of the series, but also for the day. And of course, a reminder for tomorrow, we continue the action, which will be the lower bracket final. It'll be Direwolves, of course, versus one of these two teams, and then the grand final where Cyclops will be already in place for that best of 5.
Now, we haven't seen too many deviations from what's typically expected in operator ban phases so far between these two, and Maverick being no exception. Very powerful here on Clubhouse. If he isn't banned, he's almost always played. Habana as well, incredibly powerful here on Clubhouse, especially as she is able to split up those X-Kairos, ensure that hatches well and truly do get open. So that's going to increase the difficulty curve significantly here for Talon, who are attacking first, but it's a challenge that they're seemingly wanting to take on. Mira will follow up those two attacking bans, and I'm sure Invictus will reveal something along the lines of a Valkyrie or, you know, something similar. So, yeah, key takeaways are attacking is not going to be all that fun, but if you can push through that pain, you'll be in a good spot. Wamai is the final operator taken off.
Monty makes it through.
It does.
Could have a factor at some point here on Clubhouse if needed. I think for Invictus, especially being on the defense first, I mean, fair to say obviously 4-2 is kind of the scoreline you not only expect, but I think require, with a 64% defensive win rate on Clubhouse from 15 games. Like, that's a massive sample size. They are very, very good defensively on Clubhouse. To the point where I think even 5-1 is actually a very realistic opportunity. And the downside here for Talon, and I think this is a big one, is defensively, it's actually their second worst map to defend at just 47%. So typically on a map like Clubhouse, if Talon aren't finding attacking rounds, I don't know how they're going to find defensive rounds either. So Invictus can pretty much put themselves in pole position at the conclusion of this first half.
That's going to be their aim, shooting for the stars. I think there's definitely more expectation on Invictus, not only to win this series, but to qualify for 6th Invitational as a whole, whereas Talon, they've kind of just been in the mid-table, really, of APAC North throughout the year, so their expectations not quite as high, but I'm sure there are definitely a bunch of Korean fans out there wanting them to show their best.
And just quickly as well, but to sort of take into account the fact that, you know, Talon have
5 seconds left.
been going now almost well, actually, at some point in this game would be 12 hours.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Because obviously not playing for all 12 hours. They played actually a pretty quick best of 3 against Cyclops, but then you're waiting around. You're not really able to sort of switch off and disconnect. You're watching the games, or you're practicing. You're still involved, and then you come and play the best of 3. Not only that, even whoever wins this pretty much goes straight to sleep, wakes up tomorrow, and has to play Direwolves. So, and obviously even for Invictus, they've been going, if not 12 hours, probably like 8 hours or so. So long days for both of these two teams.
Sure is. But that is often the nature of these close qualifiers for these events. You need to be able to show that endurance and be able to play for long durations of time, or if you're not actually physically playing, as you sort of mentioned, be able to try your very best at switching off when you're not playing, and then reserve that energy for when you are. Easier said than done, of course. I mean, we've been going now for, what, 5 hours, and it's starting to get pretty tiring, and it is what it is. You just got to push through it. Give your best.
Mate, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. Let's do the grand final.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't lie. You actually cursed it. You said this was going to be a quick 2-0 and a quick 2-0 and yada yada yada, and it's been anything but. It's been 2-3 mappers.
Yep. As always is the case for moi. Minute and a half, and it's Hysterics who finds the opening pick, smack bang on that time, and it's Demic who falls. That's the ace. Taken off the board. One of the hard breaches down, so only Heady left in terms of hard breach potential here for Talon. Good start for Invictus, and this is, again, what we expect from them here on the defensive clubhouse.
Quite a cheeky roam being employed by the defense.
Oh, he's
quite
caught.
aggressive, and Hysterics gets busy looking up. Taken down from the side. Kitchen hallway, his demise. Talon able to equalize. Now 4-4. Their work's been done on the roam, but still much to do on the site. Where are they going to approach from? What patches do they need to open up? Soldier will make his way over towards blue. Quite typical for the zone here, and he'll wait for the rest of the team to move in towards the objective to make his move. But to say that, he's actually going to aggress. This could open up the round massively for Talon.
Well, they've only got the one exothermic charge remaining, and obviously didn't have Demic. Make sure you check your lefts and your rights, and unfortunately for Luna, he didn't check his rights, but he still just makes it across anyway. No, the player's inside of blue, forces Soldier back up to storage. 24 seconds left. Luna survives. Not only that, but then Soldier's forced away from blue, and time of the essence. Moto still is on the side of Invictus. Speak easy, got Heady.
Oh, Luna just doesn't die.
I mean, Luna
gets taken down.
is pretty much on the verge of death here. Joe and Jordan, though, tag team duo. Canos not going to be able to do much from blue. Might find a couple of kills to pad the stats, and that would be it. Invictus take the opening round here on Clubhouse.
Cheeky roam there from Invictus. Bit of pressure on the first floor in particular. Those players dealt with quite nicely, however, though, by Talon. But unfortunately, that blue push, I said it was probably going to make or break the round, and unfortunately it broke it. Luna able to survive, and blue being salvaged with that smoke canister. Good work there by IG. A solid start to their defensive campaign.
And to be expected on Church Arsenal of all sites as well here on Clubhouse. Cash and CCTV will be their go-to next. And they're going to bring out the Goyo, which is an operator we don't probably see too much of these days. Maybe a little bit more so towards the start of last year, the back end of 2020. Definitely not as of recent. Still pops up every now and then. There's Vulcan shields. Probably one, maybe top red. Maybe one down below, even bot red.
Bomb located by attackers.
We haven't seen a lot of Goyo recently. At all.
That's what I just said.
In general, yeah.
5 seconds to insertion.
Good point that you brought up there. Yeah, you're learning, my young Padawan.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
I'm glad you're paying attention. I mean, I am paying attention. I'm just lost in the source. My ability to focus. As you
Well, I mean, to be fair, every time I talk, you've just taken off your headset and gone coughed off into the.
I mean, you're not far off. It's a bad cough. Don't get COVID. That would be my advice. Either way, though, we continue to march forward, and Talon will be hoping to do the same. Demic, holding this repel over towards Con. He could find a very cheeky kill. Oh, takes Jordan so low, but the smoke is able to survive, and Jordan can scatter back to site.
And is that the kind of angle that you can maybe try again, or is that it, a one and done? Good shot, didn't quite get the elimination, but at least a bit of damage on the Jordan. Still, the smoke can kind of just hold on site. Doesn't have to go searching for kills, for instance, so will that be a factor? Never mind, he does go searching for kills and finds one onto Azzy, and throws out the gas babe as well. Exothermic charge is going to be successful. Close up Kennel's wall. At around the 2-minute mark, so that's pass mark there for Hetty. Job done, but opening kill to the way of Invictus does make things a little bit tricky for Talon.
With wall open, though, Talon find themselves established in a good spot. They just need to try and find it back. And things will start to look a little bit brighter for them. They're able to employ 2 summers on the garage. Left panel, so you can walk in there a little bit later, maybe apply pressure over towards balcony. Now, I don't know if Rafters is currently actually being occupied by Invictus. If it is, Talon are going to be in a world of hurt. If it's not, they should really be trying to claim that ground now while it's possible. But I think they're distracted elsewhere. Lounge is proving to be quite challenging to try and disrupt. Joe on the stairs. I think there was also a deployable shield facing front door as well. So a lot of tough work still to be done here by Talon, and they really are struggling.
And now they're running out of time. You're already down the player. Never mind. At least you've... Never mind. I can't even speak. Trades just ring out, and still, by the end of it, Invictus still have their advantage. Still, even now, less time remaining. Canos looking for a play up towards red stairs. The Speakeasy finds the elimination onto Hattie. Thermite down. Canos now actually turns back over towards Garage. Does get the elimination at least onto Speakeasy, top rafters, and can make it a 2 versus 3. No diffuser in hand, and then even just trying to walk up those stairs was always going to be a death trap. Invictus will take a quick 2-0 lead here on Clubhouse, looking pretty good defensively.
5 seconds remaining. Operators, you are out of
Yeah, solid work there from Invictus. They didn't have to do anything too fancy. They weathered the storm against that breach being open, ensure they didn't falter any picks. Speakeasy being dropped on rafters could have been disastrous, but it was so late into the round and there was still good control deep in towards Cash that even then getting control off the back of that in towards Garage was super duper challenging. And that's probably what we expected heading on to this particular map. Invictus on the defense are building up so many roadblocks that Talon are slowly chipping away at, but they're never truly sort of bulldozing through them, right, and actually being able to be in a position to get a plant down. That's at least been the story that's written itself in the first 2 rounds. That said, the third objective always offers an opportunity for the attack to attack arguably one of the weaker sites. Talon will be hoping to lean into that and try and get something.
In saying that, we've seen Gym Bedroom kind of be a bit of a weird site where sometimes in the past, defenders maybe are struggling Church Arsenal or struggling Cash CTTV, and you yourself guys have actually been like, just go Gym Bedroom. Just go Gym Bedroom. And it's one that it's not exactly a foregone conclusion. In some ways, yes, you'd look at it from the attacking perspective and say, well, maybe compared to Cash, maybe compared to Church Arsenal, it's a little bit more free going. The biggest thing for me is if you don't get that Jacuzzi wall open, it's actually probably more defender-sided, right? So you've got to get Jacuzzi open, you've got to come in through Con, and then maybe even someone like bot main pushing up. You need to do a lot, and there is a lot that needs to be done. If you do it all, you generally do win the round as the attacking team, but it's about doing it all.
Ooh! Oh, Canos. Desperately looking for that opening kill. Straight through the garage panel, but unfortunately.
Just quickly, he's 2-0, but they've lost the 2 rounds. He's just not died. Twice.
Built diff.
That's something you don't see all too often.
No. Thatcher, though, in play here. Probably going to be a staple for Clubhouse. With both Mana and Maverick dealt with. He'll be looking to link up with either Hedy or Demic to open up the breach. Soldier opens up the account, though. And that's Jordan, who's getting a little bit too eager at the window. Dealt with.
Yeah, and that means, obviously, it has evidently shown by that drone, Talon no one inside of Jim. Jacuzzi wall opened up, and it goes back to that sort of checklist, and right now Talon are checking everything off very quickly. Balcony play is still going to be very important, though. At any minute, anyone from Invictus can shoot out of those windows or even vault out and find a kill or two. You're going to play over towards logistics. Probably still have con control, maybe even cash, top red. This could actually backfire, though, for Talon. Well, I was going to say, by not having really much action over towards cash CCTV, it backfired, but it could also backfire by nading yourself.
Ideal. Talon looking to commit to Jacuzzi. But unable to really make mark. Speakeasy makes his, though. Soldier dealt with now. It's starting to fall apart here for Talon. Invictus staring down the barrel of 3 rounds straight, but Speakeasy a little bit overzealous on that peak. Now Luna and Joe, they need to step up to the plate.
Timing, but they know there's a player still inside of logistics, or at least that's what they think. There isn't anymore. Luna and Joe, Luna's been able to make the crossover to bedroom and now holds a different angle. Just behind, I think, Flip Mattress. I don't know if the windows can see him. That flash is going to miss because, as I said, that's over towards logistics. He misses his shots. Can swing from the other side into red time. Can play for time. Doesn't. Loses that fight against Demic. Joe goes big, though. Now it's a 1 versus 1. And Demic is low. Pushes in. Now over towards logistics. Joe. Oh, the Banshee's going to give away the position. Surely Joe wins these and does. Really, really well played from Joe. Luna made some good plays, and while the execution maybe didn't come off, still played pretty well. The movement between logistics, then bedroom, constantly moving around, making it difficult for Talon to pin his position down. Joe did the rest. Invictus up 3-0.
Yeah, Luna may not have necessarily been as sharp as he should have been in finding those kills. You are right, though. He served enough of a distraction to open up a window of opportunity for Jordan to capitalize, and a very fortunately placed Banshee was enough to slow down that swing, open that window of opportunity for Invictus to get 3 rounds straight. They snatch it, and maybe this is where Invictus finally put the foot to the throat, start to run away with this map a little bit. They want to be playing tomorrow again. If you lose this, you're out. No more chances.
Yeah, and this will be our first team eliminated as well. And interestingly enough, either one from APAC North or one from APAC South. Right now, of course, shaping up to maybe be the one from North, but a long way to go. Though that is the World Tour done for IG. They get through unscathed in the first 3 rounds. Now you got 3 more. I'm not saying they'll go 6-0, but it puts them in good stead to have the expected defensive half here on Clubhouse. And remembering, it's not as if Talon are the most proficient defensive team on Clubhouse. 47% from 9 games as of reference. Whereas IG, 52% attacking win rate from 15 games. It's not too bad. That's enough that, you get a 4-2 half, then turn that into a pretty decent attacking half, and you'll get the job done 9 times out of 10. It's absolutely important here that Talon find a way back in here in the first half.
And again, what a remarkable storyline it could potentially be for Invictus to make that lower bracket run. It's often easy to forget that they themselves are also a replacement invite for the Knights, who couldn't field a roster for this tournament. So Invictus got thrown that lifeline. They are looking to capitalize upon that opportunity. Heading into 6 Invitational is what every single team that plays the game competitively is aiming for. Plenty of these players have been previously. In fact, they've all been previously, of course, but they want to go again, try and stake their claim. They need to win this map, though. They need to win this match. And they still need to make that run tomorrow. But I just have this feeling in my gut right now, and the scoreboard's reflecting it. IG are just too good at the moment, and they should start running away with this one.
Yeah, and I think it also further reflects that the gap between North and South is virtually nothing, right? You've got some teams from North that are really good, some teams from South that are really good, the middle order for both. I mean, if you were to essentially merge the two, have, say, like APAC, you're not going to see one region or the other, South or North, really dominate the other. It is a very tightly contested region. So by no means, just because IG are in South, that this is an upset. No, they're the favorite team here in this situation. Right now, playing like it too. A minute 15 remaining, still no contact from Talon towards Invictus. Yeah, they're going to start to slowly get to work, but time will be of the essence. Then you lose Ace as well. Hattie at least gets the trade onto Luna, but a lot of damage back as well onto Canos.
Yeah, a couple of brisk trades. 50 seconds now, 4 versus 4. Can Talon step up? Can they get their first round on the board here on Clubhouse? They've gritted their teeth in this round. They've done some good groundwork. Solid vert, hatches open, and they did get that trade. However, there's still players in key positions like Blue, for example, even Church itself, which are yet to be disrupted. 30 seconds left.
And without the A's, you can't open up those triple walls if they are reinforced. You would imagine they would be. Yes, you're into Moto now. Hysterics is full white multiple times. Of course, he's going to lose that fight to Hattie. 20 seconds remaining. Decent little effort. Oh, he just watches as his teammate has. He goes flying. Joe then says, here's one for you as well. A quick double from Joe. There's one. There's two. There's 4 now for IG.
Once again, another good round from Invictus. It's pretty tricky at the moment to fault them. And unfortunately for Talon, throw everything they have with all their might. It's just not quite sticking. It's not quite enough at the moment. They are being outclassed, outpaced by their opponents. As always, though, this is Siege. It's a funny game and you can never count a team out. If there's a world in which Talon can muster up the strength to get the next 2 rounds, then hey, on Clubhouse, it's respectable, it's passable, it's not a bad effort, and could be enough for them to call this back. But I'm probably just going to say with fair confidence, if Invictus win this next round, if they get that 5-0 lead, it's basically over.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. Yes, Talon will be going on to their own defense, but it's been pointed out enough. It's not necessarily a given for them. This is a big one. You get cash CCTV, then there's questions for Invictus, right? They can't go back to Church Arsenal. If you lose cash CCTV, you may say, well, bugger it, let's just go to Gym Bedroom for the last round anyway. It can very much throw that spanner in the works. You can get 2 in a row. We've seen it, when we've both casted enough Siege to have known we've seen enough 4-0s turn into 2-4, and then from there, the rest is history.
Definitely agree with you on that one. But it's very, very tricky to envision a situation where Talon can bring this back. The signs on these attacks just haven't been positive enough. And that's not to bash Talon by any stretch. They're honestly, for the most part, actually executing basics decently well, and they're getting progression in these rounds, but it's mainly that last push where they're just being outclassed, and Invictus, particularly when they can lean on some of these extremely mechanically skilled players where they just thrive, and often it's Hysterics and Speakeasy posting crazy numbers, but it's not even those two on this occasion that are really popping off. I mean, Joe's been huge since 2. Even Luna's been playing super aggressive by his standard as well, and causing a lot of disruption. So everyone's pitching in for Invictus, and this is why they are one of the superior forces in APAC. Oh my!
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's when that's probably where you sit back and think, well, maybe it's not my day. 7-2 for Joe. Maybe it is his game though. And the Goyo, I don't want to say the Goyo itself, those Vulcan shields have had too much of an impact, but it hasn't necessarily been a bad thing either. It's just kind of been there, playing off of it. I mean, in theory, it does get you the kill there, destroy the shield, and then get a little love tap to the head. 1.5 left, by the way, in the round, and it's gone by quickly. Here for cash CCTV. Not much really managed for Talon.
feels quick for us, and we're just watching. I can only assume Talon, if you're starting to look up at the score now, you're starting to get a little bit worried. Good util there from Soldier, dislodging Luna. Does a bit of damage and allows Eddie to open up the walls. There's some good team play there from Talon, and Kennels is now exposed, but at the main disadvantage, they need to find something. They do. Soldier on to Speak Easy from the rappel. Now, if Talon can get control of Garage and hold this cross, maybe we could see some success, but I just don't know how safe that's going to be.
Counselors is a bit of health. Only 40 seconds remaining. I don't see anyone over towards Rafters, so they do have control of Garage, although the Gas Babe is going to deny Demic from pushing on through. Hetty's the one with the diffuser, though. Two players sitting inside a cache, very close by to each other. Luna low on health. That could be disastrous, but Hysterics watches Con. No one's going to be at least pushing in from behind. Demic falls to the Nitrocell of Luna, who was able to push up. Canos now will push up towards top red. Just tries to get straight past the barbed wire. It won't work, but Luna and Jordan fall anyway to Hetty and Soldier. Now it's a 3 versus 1. Technically 2 versus 1. Hysterics full health. Canos on the ground. Can he deny plant? No. Soldier watches. Talon on the board here for Clubhouse.
Yeah, sharp there from Talon. Really good work there. That final swing, critical. And Talon able to get the round over the line. Not committing to the default plant, and probably the best decision. A little bit more aggressive, a little bit more proactive. Good pressure over towards main stairs in combination with that push through the objective. Just causing enough disruption, ruffling the feathers of Invictus. A strong response from Talon when they needed it the most.
I expected the gym bedroom, chucked it in the old dev match tracker a little bit early, and fortunately Invictus have made me look the smart man in this instance. It's, I don't know, I just generally go by the fact you lose that last round on cache CCTV and you got a different option. Probably go the different option, why not? In that particular instance, their gym bedroom last time was not all that bad. So first little blip here for IG on Clubhouse after winning 4 straight. It's a pretty big round. Tactical timeout from Talon, in fact, has already been called here at 1-4, knowing full well that if they get 2-4, that is essentially job done, right? Like, that's par for the course. That's expected on Clubhouse. This is a big, big round. I think if you lose this, if you're Talon, I wouldn't be surprised to just see IAG clean sweep the remaining rounds in the second half. But if Talon win this round, we've got ourselves a game.
Yeah. That's what I was banking on in the last round, right? I'm just being very, very conservative at the moment. And I'm obviously crossing my fingers that Talon can win this round, just to make a match of it. Otherwise, yeah, Invictus will run away with it. So we'll see what plays out. And Invictus will obviously want to put the foot on the throat once more. Get this round in line. Speak Easy's being quiet by his standards, but again, Joe's stepping up. Not often not every day you see Speak Easy on the Maestro role, at least from memory. Maybe it's a site-specific selection. Anyway, could still do some damage. I am intrigued that Invictus are continuing to stick to the Goyo kit, but more deployable shields, or having at least 2 deployable shields in play is quite important. You want to install that your opponent sinks some of that util. And obviously, consume utility that might be used elsewhere. In combination with Banshees, for example, Maestro cameras, it means that there is actually a significant amount of bulletproof utility on the board.
And of course, remembering for Invictus, if they do win this and they move forward to tomorrow, it's a rematch against the Direwolves. Of course, earlier on today, they actually lost 2-1 to Direwolves. A 7-0 included in that, but I'm sure they'd be looking forward to a rematch in the lower bracket final if that does eventuate.
That's going to be a very interesting game. I wonder if Invictus will have their confidence back, their mojo. Obviously took a bit of a hit earlier today, but they've probably rebuilt that against Talon here. Playing some solid siege, but it's far from over. Hysterics over towards CCTV. He's been playing that position aggressively, consistently throughout this map, but unable to find a pick. Talon can rotate now over towards Jacuzzi, and that wall will be open for free. No denial from IG.
Yeah, and at the 2-minute mark too. So that's job done. That's a big win. Nice and early. Both sides opened up. So far, so good for Talon. Getting through that checklist. Ever important. Obviously a little bit heavy when you got all 5 players. Jacuzzi side, I'd blame. But as he pushes straight in, Jordan though finds the kill onto Demic. Now that will shut that down. I'm not sure if I agree with 5 players through Jacuzzi wall, but now it's 4 players through Jacuzzi wall. Not by a choice though.
BPC dealt with by that frag grenade, and now Luna sensing a bit of pressure, looking to counter-aggress that position, but also not wanting to give away his life. Hedy and Azzy teaming up outside of Jacuzzi currently. 4 versus 5, and Invictus can look to stabilize the round. No real need for them to get antsy in this position. Talon will be the ones, as often is seen on the attack, that need to show some initiation. But where's that going to come from? Where's that critical piece of information they need to make a play? Hedy will drone forward, Panos as well, but it's probably going to be up to the likes of Soldier maybe to make something happen.
Yeah, Soldier's been very good as well for Talon when it comes to sort of individual players that have been able to frag out, find kills. One to have taken note of. Now 6-3 with that elimination of Jordan, but it was a short-lived 4-4. Now it's 3-4. Main stairs. Notice this player in logistics. It just literally runs away. But it does allow Azzy to push on through. Soldier gets a little bit trigger happy. And Luna gets the double. Falls for his efforts, but efforts nonetheless. The Vulcan shield backfires as it does a bit of damage onto Speakeasy. Banshee slows Hedy down. He had no time. He had no chance. Invictus, they get 5-1 from the half.
And now we can reflect on that first half. It was strong from Invictus. Really only one round that was poorly played, and Talon able to capitalize. Outside of that, very, very tricky to see Talon bring this one back. It's been a rough third map for them. They've been fighting so hard. They are arguably, maybe, you know, in a similar realm as Daiwos, arguably one of the teams that had the lowest expectations, right? Because they are, quote-unquote, the 5th team in APAC North. That's consistently where they finish. They're unable to really push into the upper echelons of APAC through the playoffs. They've kind of just been out and about, obviously doing a fantastic job to make it through the open quals to enter this event, but I think maybe they performed above expectation, or at least above my expectation. I, again, didn't expect this series to go to 3 cups.
I don't know if I would say that. 7-3, 7-2 against Cyclops. Lost 7-3 on their map pick of Oregon, and beat an IG on Chalet that is not very good on Chalet, statistically. So I don't know if I can agree and say above expectations. Probably.
Maybe my expectations are too low. I am cynical.
I think my expectations have been met for Talon.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Fair. So you never know. Maybe on the defense, Talon can get something wild. I'll have to wait and see. I'm sure IG at the moment pretty fired up, ready to go. Ready to just close this one out. Go to sleep. Get some rest.
Yeah, literally. I think also for Invictus, you know, they've got to now get on the front foot. They're going to be a bit proactive here on the attack. You're up 5-1. Obviously, you want to look to finish it off as quick as possible. Get some rest for tomorrow, because it's going to be a big day tomorrow. You've literally got, if you are to make the grand final, you've got a best of 3 before it. So both IG and Direwolves wake up tomorrow, play a best of 3. One of them moves on then to a best of 5 grand final. That's a long day for them. And obviously then for IG, you want to finish this one as quick as possible.
Scanning up ahead, he's the vertical mainstay here for this objective. With that sledge, he'll be wanting to get in, open up the kitchen hallway, and expose angles down below into Armory. Maybe if he gets lucky, he could even find a kill. The goal will be to clear utilities such as Banshees, maybe even find a Yokai that could be down below. Kaid is in play here for Talon, so we might see that posing a small issue, insignificant issue, really. And Thatcher's up, Demic as well, misses. the Kaid Electroclaw juggle. So unfortunate there for Talon, and Invictus now get pretty free real estate across the map. Stock hatch will be opened shortly, and if kitchen hasn't been opened, it will also be in a jiffy.
Yeah, and the next thing, open up some sight lines from the walls through hysterics with those Selmas, and then that's basically your checklist done at that point, and then Invictus can just try and find kills from then onwards. So hysterics, obviously, well, they've actually still got to get that unelectrified. That's one extra little task. But they get that done now, courtesy of Joe on the Thatcher. EMP grenade to make that super easy. And he'll throw them all down below, just makes sure that no one can be hiding behind there. 40 seconds left. Checklist has now been completed. It's go time for Invictus. Everything that they needed to do has been done. The only thing they haven't been able to achieve is finding a kill. But they've opened everything up. They almost get one there through Jordan.
They need to push up, needs to try and clear out this blue position. Flash though, a bit of friendly fire. Can't quite push forward just yet. Gets the kill, Demic to respond.
I get one, almost got a second. It's just the down onto Soldier, who is finished off by Luna. Demic and Heady both finding a kill each. Demic inside of Arsenal, low health. Doesn't really have much else for help. Speakeasy gets caught. He actually did have help from Heady, and then does the rest himself. Talon will take the first round of the second half.
Yeah, that was a really gutsy effort there from Talon. They lost control of blue. They didn't really have great pressure down towards bottom main, but they still made it work, and they won there once. And sometimes Siege can be simplified down to that very fact, as Invictus tried to push through. Talon just slightly edging them out, bit sharper with their reaction time, with their trigger finger. So really solid start here for Talon. And this is why you can never count a team out at half-time. We just do not know if Talon have it in them to muster up this comeback.
Yeah, we don't know if Invictus have it in them to be a proficient attacking team. Yeah, they've shown that they can do it on Clubhouse. There's no real surprises there, but the stats do say it's actually their third worst, right? So it's not like they're the best overall attacking team on Clubhouse. It's not like they're that amazing on it. It is a possibility that Talon turn this into a heavily defender-sided Clubhouse, which we've seen time and time again. That would not be a surprise. No one would be shocked by that. I think you would probably be, in some ways, a little surprised just only because IG got to that 5-1 scoreline. Even then, just because you get to 5-1 doesn't mean the other team can't do it as well.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Everything looking pretty stock standard here on the CC defense. Alibi being thrown into the mix though.
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
A little bit off meta. Can place those on the windows, provide a bit of disruption and make those lines of sight a bit trickier. And of course a strong primary as well. Impact grenades could be useful as well. Maybe in denying plan or denying util elsewhere. IG on the flip side. I'll be looking to go back to the basics once again, and I don't think they'll be too dismayed by the last round, for example, because for the most part they opened the hatches pretty carefree, they had decent ground established, they actually did clear blue, but it just came down again to those ones not quite going their way, and on a coin flip round like that, you can't be too upset, and Invictus with such a big buffer, I don't think at this point in time they're going to be concerned at all, and with these sites continuing to rotate, they should eventually, if they continue that relenting pressure, find around here or there.
Yeah, and all they've got to do is find one really on this sort of like little rotation up above, right? Like if you look at it as Church Arsenal, then Cash, CCTV, then Gym Bedroom, from that three, you just got to find one. Then the next three again, you just got to find one. So it's and even just finding one in the first three, then at least it gets you OT at minimum.
Activating Selma.
Good work from Hysterics. Selma deployed, and I don't think it has been destroyed.
Yes, it has.
Oh, it was just super close. Now, I don't know if maybe it was muted, so yeah, it must have been muted. Otherwise, there would have been at least one hole established. Maybe it was electrified. I don't know. Either way, the first of those Selma breaches was disabled by the defense. So really well played, and I think Hysterics has just thrown another into electrified wall, unless it got cleared.
Oh, we got mute bug.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't hear any audio, but maybe there is still audio. I don't know. Soldier finds a kill. I know that for sure, and Demic has been dropped. So 4 versus 4, and now Invictus should be able to claim garage control.
Yeah, Just under a minute remaining. 4 versus 4. Obviously, garage control established now. Talon all still very much on site. Rafters now for the taking for IG.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Oh, look at that right corner position, though. Luna's not going to have any idea. This should be a free elimination from Soldier, and it is. Now has 2, and even with the concussion, still finds the headshot. Speakeasy gets the trade, but the damage, well and truly, has been done. Has the diffuser in hand, and if can stick it in a 1 versus 2, expects the push, but didn't expect the Nitrocell. Well played again from Talon, 2 rounds in a row.
Okay, Talon are really turning this into a match at the death in the final stages of those last 2 rounds. They are putting in some really gutsy efforts. Invictus, still, much like the previous round, are being able to manipulate the map as they probably would like. Yes, they had some issues with that Rafters breach from the Ace, but outside of that, elsewhere it seemed like most of their checkpoints, most of their objectives were being ticked off, crossed out, and they would have been quite happy. But when push came to shove, when they really needed to grit their teeth and try and get in towards the objective, find these kills and clear these players, you had Soldier being a bit of a pain, then you had a really good Nitro Soul to close out the round, and it's very tricky for Invictus to try and come back from that. So super well played from Talon. Again, they still have a huge mountain to climb, but they're going at it at a steady rate at the moment, you know, step by step, and just taking it round by round.
And that's all you can really ask for them in that situation. And, you know, they've won 3 of the last 4 rounds now, right? Like, they've got themselves momentum. It's only a 2-round disadvantage, 3-5. IG, of course, you know, still in a position where they're very close to being able to maybe get that match point. I'm just going to say it, but if IG lose this match, lose this series from the position they were in, up 5-1.
10 seconds remaining.
That's a tough one to come back from mentally. I don't think it'll happen. I think they've got more than enough chances at least to force OT at minimum. Right, you only need 1 more round to do that. As we head over to Gym Bedroom for our 3rd round here of the second half. Talon, if they make this 5-4, do you call the tactical timeout if you're IG?
Probably. Even if it's just to chill out and relax, it doesn't have to be a super deep strategical tactical timeout. And I don't think they really need that anyway. It's just resetting the mental, resetting the mindset, and really just affirming the fact that they're playing well for the absolute vast majority of the round's duration, and it's just falling apart a little bit towards the end. And if they tidy that up, back themselves in with confidence, then it seems logical that they're eventually going to win a round. Now, maybe I'm being blind by APAC South bias, I don't know, but I'm just calling what I'm seeing inside of the server at the moment, and it seems like for the most part, Invictus are kind of playing with their prey a little bit, and maybe a bit too much, I don't know. We'll just have to see whether or not on this particular objective they can convert that early round dominance. But maybe early round dominance won't be on the agenda. Canos with that first kill is traded though, so good work by Historics.
Yeah, it doesn't obviously last too long, but still, you're getting the Thatcher off the board nice and early. It's not ideal for Invictus. Minute and a half remaining in the 9th round. Talon, they win this, and then it's 4-5. Real momentum built up, putting the pressure right onto Invictus. Speakeasy trying to get info, and is able to honestly get a pretty decent amount of information with this drone in through Gym. So 1 over towards Comp. Knows there's a player inside of Gym. And he gets a little bit greedy here. Still a minute left. Does not have to peek this. And he yet goes for it anyway and finds the headshot onto Demic.
Demic just ducking straight into that one, and now Speakeasy will activate, pushes in, sees the behind of Soldier, converts the kill, and now Azzy and Hetty in the 2v4.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time left as well, but time doesn't matter to IG. They just want to get this one done. Match point, series point, now established for Invictus Gaming. Speakeasy just getting aggressive and able to hit his shots, and just puts IG in a position to now win out here in this series. Really well played. And suddenly, all that pressure that maybe would have been there for IG is immediately shifted over to the side of Talon.
Yeah, I think that was a really good display of just raw persistence from Invictus. Like I kept reiterating, the previous 2 attacks where they lost, they were still pulling off the fundamentals quite nicely. It was just crumbling a little bit around the edges in the final stages of those executes, but finally Invictus, again, despite being disrupted by the run out, was then able to reposition themselves, refocus. Really good pick from the breach by Speakeasy, opened up the round, and yeah, they just capitulated. Or pardon me, they sort of just pounced on their opponents and were able to get it across the line eventually. Now, that might mean that we see the same thing. Invictus could maybe falter in the next 2 attacks, and we'll have to see them win Gym Bedroom again. I wouldn't rule that out, but at least they've gotten something under their wing now. They have something to fall back on, even if that is the case, right? Because if you're in the Invictus camp, let's say you lose the next 2 rounds, you can just go, lads, let's just chill out. We run this last time, so we should be able to do it again.
Yeah, just in case anyone is wondering, of course, we still have the mute bug. At this point, we've only got 1 more round anyway, so we'll just push on through. But yeah, obviously, for those maybe wondering what that sound is, it's not on your end, it's not on the stream's end, it's just a good old mute doing his thing.
Pew pew, pew pew.
Well, I mean, it's not the... I don't even know if it is the actual old-school mute bug, but it came from mute. Mute did something to the Selma charge.
Yeah, it's a weird bug.
And
It's like,
since
I can't even hear it.
and since then, ever since the mute jammer stopped that Selma charge, we've had this.
Definitely a strange one. Either way, though, push forward. The silence is it's almost deafening at this point, but
That's a good
it
one.
is what it is. Luna once again doing really solid drone work. He is the staple, the bread and butter of this team, and he's almost as old as time at this point. No offense to Luna, of course. I mean that as a compliment, as it is often very difficult as an esports player to stay around as long as he has.
And the droning was a big factor as well for IG in that last game too. Just being able to drone in on through gym, get so much information on the player in Colin and in gym, knowing there's one then in logistics. Like 1 drone has just found 3 players. It's just that critical. EMP grenade here onto this bar hatch, and then they can open it up. And this is kind of just a repeat, I guess, of the opening round of this second half, where you go through that checklist, open everything.
Oh, did the Electroclaw juggle hit? Is that why Speakeasy's using another charge? I think it did.
Well, it must have.
Electroclaw landed onto the bar hatch. The second charge is successful though, so well played there by Invictus, but just slowing them down a little bit. Minute 20 now left on the board.
And it does mean this is going to be way more trickier now for Invictus in terms of even being able to open up these triples as freely. They've got to take a little bit more time. Obviously, you've still got Hysterics, has all of his Selmas, but only 1 more EMP grenade that has to be used on the triple wall. Drop down for Speakeasy. Oh, they had the best checklist last time. It didn't matter, though, because they still lost the kills. They lose the first engagement in this one as well. Demic finds that elimination, and that's diffuser down as well inside of Moto.
Invictus will need to force something through Moto. Luna drones ahead once more, looking for critical information inside of Church. Spots 1 to the left, will drop and try and recover that diffuser. Joe drops, though, Invictus falling.
Hysterics gets another one.
Oh no!
And he's low. Hetty with the low health. Doesn't matter. He pushed on through. Soldier goes big for Talon, as he has done so in this entire series. Hysterics picks up the diffuser. Runs over to the corner of Church and now starts to plant it. If he can get it down, he can then defend himself. But no, it's 3 in the round for Soldier. As they soldier on, Talon continue to keep their hopes alive. They do not want to miss out on this SI chance. We go to an 11th round.
It's just a flickering light at the end of the tunnel, though. Again, the realism in me is just going, oh, this is a great effort from Talon, but again, they haven't shown success on 3 sites straight, meaning that if we go back to Gym Bedroom, Invictus can mop it up, and this will all be in vain. But, hey, I'm all for it. I want Talon to put up a fight. We'll go back to CC on the rotation. If they win that, then we go to Gym, and it'll be for all the marbles. Talon, it's a shame, right, that maybe 1 site could be their downfall, because outside of that, the other 2 have actually been really successful. And I guess maybe that'll mean that their attack will harm
Attackers
them
need to locate and defuse
in
as many bombs as
a
they
major
can.
way, right? A 5-1 deficit is just so challenging to come back from.
4-6. Of course, you know, you still got to send it to overtime and then get the job done there. It's still very much a long way back for Talon, but, you know, credit where credit is due. It's now 4 of the last 6 rounds. They have been as competitive as you can expect from them after being down 4-0, after being down 5-1.
10 seconds to
They've
go.
turned this clubhouse match into a game. They've kept the series alive for as long as they can possibly do so. They've continued to fight, and that in itself, full credit to this team and the ability to not lay down and to not give up has been massive, and just puts them in a position now where you've got to win cash CCTV, you've got to win gym bedroom. Both of those objectives super easy to win. Luna even now actually jumps onto the Montang. So clearly Invictus feeling the pinch here a little bit.
Yeah, the Luna was brought out on the Montang on the previous map to try and close that one out, and it seems like it'll be fairly similar here in the third map, the decider of Clubhouse. Luna establishes a drone inside of Garage and probably foreshadowing his eventual attacking route. He'll likely want to make his way up Garage stairs onto the rafters, disrupt that position, clear that player, try and forge the path ahead for the rest of the roster, looking to get that default plant inside of CCTV. Elsewhere, I can only presume that work's being done on the kennel's wall if it hasn't already been opened. We may well see the bottom of Garage as well exposed, allowing for these players to dump some utility on top of Demic, the Kaid that is playing this rafters position. But much like a lot of the other attacks and what we're seeing so far, very, very textbook from Invictus.
Minute and a half remaining,
Attackers
though.
bomb diffuser has been
Oh,
dropped.
sweet bliss. Absolute sweet bliss. Twitch chat will be very, very happy now.
Oh, we're back.
We are back.
Oh, hello.
Well, it's, you know, when the drone
Oh,
gets...
no. Wait, where's
hang on a
Demic
second.
going? Where are you going? He was like, I'm out of here.
When the drone gets destroyed, of course, it fixes the mute bug. So there you go. We're back. Minute left. And just as we're back, maybe we could be saying goodbye to Talon. Luna's pushed all the way up. Rafters completely taken. Hysterics goes for a little side swipe of storage. 50 seconds left.
Monty already doing a lot of damage, applying a lot of pressure.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Invictus now 40 seconds to prepare for a plant. The diffuser's outside the breach though, so Hysterics will need to make the cross, might tuck it into the corner to the right as well. Couple of options available here for Invictus, but they have 30 seconds to commit.
Double kill now for Speak Easy. And
oh, no.
actually got the team kill onto Luna. Doesn't matter though, because they're just killing everybody, including their teammates. Diffuser down. Soldier, 12 and 7, has been so important for Talon. They maybe just need a little bit more from him to salvage this one. Canos drops down into lobby, now pushes up. He'll want to go for maybe the red stairs play. See if maybe he's actually just going for Garage. No, I don't even know what he's doing at this point. Now does go for red stairs. 20 seconds left though. Soldier pushes in. Invictus holding their angles. Speak Easy with 3 in the round. And that should very much be the end of the closed qualifiers for Talon. Invictus Gaming, they push forward to tomorrow in the lower bracket final. Talon, they're done. They're out.
Survival of the fittest, and Invictus able to get this one over the line. A strong defensive half, setting them up for success, and Speak Easy just clapping his opponents quite literally there in the MVP animation. And it's finally over for the day. These players can go get some hard-earned rest. It's been a long day for Talon, a long day for Invictus as well, who will now need to back it up tomorrow. Their lower bracket dream is still alive, and we'll have to see whether or not they can keep it alive.
Where's our host? Guys, do you know where he is? He's supposed to be here
Wait.
right now.
Who's our host?
Robert Monday. Jeez, he's absolutely stitched us up. What a game. What a series. Obviously, congratulations to IG 2-1, but massive commiserations to Talon Esports. You know, honestly, I think that they put in a pretty decent shift to even just sort of force that clubhouse towards the end, guys. You know, it was 5-1, a 4-0 start. Everything was pointing to a pretty comfortable win for IG, but they kept fighting, they kept making something of it, so full credit to them. At the end of the day though, IG move forward, Talon go home, and that's just the brutal business that we're in.
Yeah, at the end of the day, someone has to win, someone has to lose, and unfortunately Talon go home empty-handed. A good effort from them, again, considering that they haven't really made waves in APAC North as sort of that 5th best team. Still, they made that run through the open qual. They do a decent effort here in closed qual, and they could go back and recuperate for stage 1 of 2022. Nonetheless, Invictus probably the expected result. Again, I'm probably still backing them in to make this lower bracket run, but it is going to be a minor miracle. A big day ahead for them, right? They have the BO3 against Direwolves, who wiped the floor on them essentially earlier today, or yesterday. Now, time zones are weird. So they need to win that, and then go on against Cyclops in a best of 5. So, in an absolute worst case scenario, Invictus will need to play 8 hours of their best siege tomorrow, and that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I think they're capable of it as a team. They've been in those kind of positions before where they've had to play a lot of siege over the course of an entire day. Yeah, multiple best of 3s, for instance. Of course, best of 3 and a best of 5. That's going to be quite difficult. It also speaks highly to the advantage of coming through the upper bracket, and probably wasn't spoken about enough today from us here on the broadcast. But for Cyclops, like, you know, they finished their game a little while ago. They've been able to go to bed early. They'll be refreshed. They'll be able to sort of even just sit back tomorrow and not have to get up too early. They'll be fresh for that grand final. Whoever plays them, either Direwolves or IG, will already be quite tired going into a best of 5 grand final.
Yeah, for sure. A bit like me. Can sit back and relax for the grand final. Get ready. Yeah, been a long day for us, but a lot of highlight plays. We look through the replay package for Clubhouse, as we've alluded to a couple times now. Invictus, a great start, a 4-0 lead. Talon, though, they dug so deep. It was such a gutsy effort from them. We use that word a lot. They really did have to try every trick in the book to put Invictus at bay, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. They didn't quite have the objective depth required to get this one across the line, and there were just so many occasions where Invictus were winning out these engagements, making highlight plays, getting a couple of multi-kills, and Talon just not quite having that same X factor in this matchup.
Yeah, and we just saw the scoreline there of 5-1, and that's where I really thought it was going to sort of continue to go that way. And yeah, then you see 3-5 and a couple of winnable rounds maybe for Talon. You know, that gym bedroom in the 9th round could have actually been won had they done so. It would have been 4 in a row. But even here at 4-6, it probably still was somewhat winnable. Ultimately, IG just too good in the end, and I think Speakeasy really stood up in the clutch. Ended up, I think, around 11-5 when it was all said and done, so had a really big performance on Clubhouse after maybe being a little bit quiet at the start of Chalet. Did bring himself back into things as we pretty much now move forward to the bracket and have a look at things. I will mention that Talon is not playing Direwolves tomorrow. It very much is Invictus. And Invictus is not in the grand final. Not just yet. They've got to play.
Whoa, leak script. Whoa, bring it down. Jesus. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing this play out. Maybe not the Talon game tomorrow, but we'll just pretend Invictus is there, because that's my prediction. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be wild. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're casting the lower bracket games.
Oh, I'm hosting tomorrow, mate.
Oh, you're hosting.
I'm going to be doing a much better job than the Manic.
Well, I mean, as long as you're here, you'll already be doing a better job.
I just got to rock up and actually do my job. That's it. I'm already winning.
Rock up and smile.
I guess we can start to talk about maybe final thoughts for the entire day as a whole, guys, where, you know, it was a very, very long day. You know, if I just check the stream uptime is 13 hours. This is the graphic, of course. This is correct. It'll be IG versus Direwolves tomorrow. And then the winner of that match will play Cyclops. But it all started with Cyclops and Talon, which was the most convincing best of 3 of the entire broadcast today. 7-3, then 7-2. After which, Direwolves and IG. Well, that was a bit of an interesting one, though, guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, outside of the IG storyline, which we've been following quite closely now for a little bit, Direwolves were the other standout today. they kicked off with a huge bang against Invictus. They were playing a ranked game on steroids. It was ridiculous. If you haven't watched that match, I suggest go back, check out the VOD. It was absolutely wild, particularly on the defense. On maps that are typically structured like Oregon. Like, how do you get away with it on that map? I don't know. But it did send Invictus down on this lower bracket run, and I really am looking forward to that rematch. Of course, Dai was unable to get that win against Cyclops. They head through to the grand final. And yeah, we get that rematch tomorrow, man. It's going to be absolutely wild. If it's anywhere near as stupidly wild as it was today, then yeah, strap yourself in.
Just quickly with that upper bracket final, of course, Direwolves versus Cyclops, that was such a fascinating match in itself. I think a lot of winnable moments for Direwolves. I think that they would have felt like they really let that one slip. Obviously for Cyclops, just too good in the end. That was a 7-5, 7-5, 7-4 game. And then, of course, we finished off with Talon and IG, which ended up going the distance as well, all three. Very quickly, guys, final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Just,
I don't know.
Yeah, thanks to the fans. Thanks to
The
Mum and Dad,
fans?
who I've probably kept awake. Now it's 2:40 AM here in Melbourne, so it's been a long day, but a lot of fun.
Yep.
Again, watching Direwolves back in the green room, awesome. And again, props to Talon. They put their best foot forward. Unfortunately, they're not enough. They are the first team to get knocked out, but a valiant effort on behalf of themselves and the Korean region. I look forward to seeing them next year and bring on tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely wild.
Yep.
Cyclops looking to convert that grand final across the line, go to 6 Invitational, and they have Direwolves and Invictus in hot pursuit.
That's us done for today here for the 6th Invitational APAC Close Qualifiers. We will be back tomorrow starting with IG, then Direwolves, and of course the grand final after that. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Rob.